Chapter 1422, This is truly astonishing. It shows that this golden peng bird has completely submitted to Lu Changsheng. Let's go. Lu Changsheng gestured towards the golden-winged heavenly peng. Whoosh, the golden-winged heavenly peng immediately flew towards the Yiming ghost sect. However, before they reached the Yiming ghost sect, they sensed a blood-colored light flowing in the sky, surging mightily. Who's the reckless rogue daring to cause trouble at my Yiming ghost sect? Before the person arrived, the voice came first. From miles away, a chillingly cold voice resounded. In an instant, the sky's bloody glow became denser, torrents of Yin wind swept through, and a foul stench of blood filled the air. Lu Changsheng's eyes were like torches, shining brilliantly with golden light as he saw countless blood-colored bats within the bloody light, stretching endlessly, terrifying to behold. This person is the great elder of the Yiming ghost sect, and his cultivation technique is that netherworld myriad ghost art. But he had a fortuitous encounter earlier in life, contracting an ancient blood bat, and transformed the netherworld myriad ghost art into the netherworld blood bat sutra, wielding unfathomable power, with a cultivation level at the core formation 8th layer. Chu Qingyi, seeing the sky filled with blood bats, immediately identified the newcomer, her eyes filled with dread. Besides the Supreme Elder, who is preparing to break through to the nascent soul stage, the Yiming ghost sect has 2 late-stage core formation cultivators. One of them is this ghost bat true master. Due to his cultivation method and possession of an ancient blood bat, his power is indeed terrifying. Great Elder. The ghost shadow true master and the enchanting beauty were full of joy upon seeing the blood shadows in the sky. Besides the Supreme Elder, who is in long-term seclusion, this ghost bat true master is the foremost figure in the Yiming ghost sect. Not only does he have the strength of the core formation 8th layer, but he also possesses a late-stage 3rd rank blood bat. Even though Lu Changsheng's strength is astonishing, instantly suppressing them, he couldn't possibly be a match for their great elder. Ugh, Lu Chuanjin inhaled the thick bloody stench, and even though he was protected by the yin-yang mysterious divine light, his face was full of pain as the blood fiend qi within him boiled. Seeing this, Lu Changsheng frowned, realizing it was the opponent's cultivation technique causing the effect. He immediately raised his hand lightly, and the Tianyuan lotus appeared, enveloping Lu Chuanjin within. During the earlier battle, he allowed his son to gain some experience. But now, this battle would be hard for him to protect the other. Moreover, this ghost bat true master must have cultivated techniques involving blood fiend aspects, which indirectly affected Lu Chuanjin. Qingyi, be careful. The dormant qi and blood within Lu Changsheng began to revive, and he said sternly to Chu Qingyi. Then he signaled the golden-winged heavenly peng to directly attack. This person is the great elder of the Yiming ghost sect, the first under the Supreme Elder. If I can suppress him, it will severely damage the Yiming ghost sect's primordial energy. At that time, I could gain a great deal from the Yiming ghost sect through this person, resolving Lu Quanzhen's physical issues, and even securing resources for my wives and children's future core formation. How bold. Just because you rely on a spiritual beast, do you think you're invincible in the world? The ghost bat true master saw Lu Changsheng riding the golden-winged heavenly peng coming directly at him and coldly shouted. He naturally saw that the golden-winged heavenly peng was unusual. Even his blood bat showed some timidity in the face of the golden-winged heavenly peng. One must know, his blood bat is by no means simple. Due to a bloodline atavism, it possesses some true spirit bloodline. Because of this, he relied on the blood bat to grow to such a degree. But now, the golden-winged heavenly peng instills a sense of dread in his blood bat. Nevertheless, besides the dread, the blood bat also had a craving. It longed to devour the essence blood of the golden-winged heavenly peng. If it could devour the golden-winged heavenly peng, it might have a chance to advance to the 4th rank within 100 years. Lu Changsheng didn't respond, and a resonance echoed from his qi ocean core, as the formless treasure will appeared, like a blazing sun spinning in his mind, making him look magnificent. The 2 people held by the golden-winged heavenly peng were instantly suppressed into the formless domain. This battle demands full effort, and the golden-winged heavenly peng's combat power must not be compromised. You seek death. Seeing this scene, the ghost bat true master thought Lu Changsheng was provoking him and shouted loudly. His voice was chilling, filled with disruptive chi mechanism, interfering with others' mental spirits. At the same time, endless blood bats swept towards Lu Changsheng. 108,000 feathers. The golden-winged heavenly peng, radiant all over, released a sound that shattered metal and stone, shaking the skies, making a killing intent pervasive on all sides. Golden divine feathers appeared like swords, emitting a fierce light, slashing towards the blood bats. Puff, 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 many blood bats were pierced by the golden divine feathers, shattering to dust. But those slain blood bats immediately transformed into a bloody mist, merging into other bats, making those bats' aura stronger. Netherworld blood ghost art. The ghost bat true master's voice was cold as he clenched his palm, sending a bloody ghost image hurtling towards Lu Changsheng. The giant blood bat beneath him howled towards the sky at this moment, emitting a rapid, close-packed, fierce, sharp, chaotic series of notes that chilled the heart. 9 treasures: Rui bone, vitality, energy, spirit. Lu Changsheng's third-rank physique fully resurrected, the runes on the 9 treasures Rui bone on his chest surged wildly, making his physical body, mana, and divine sense roar like a tsunami. Core formation 4th layer. Core formation 5th layer. Core formation 6th layer. Besides his cultivation and magical power, Lu Changsheng's physical strength also improved crazily, almost advancing by a whole level, comparable to the 3rd rank late stage. As for his divine sense, even Lu Changsheng himself didn't know to what extent it had improved. Because after awakening the Tai divine soul, his divine sense was already not weaker than the core formation peak. Now with the enhancement of the 9 treasures Rui bone, the sonic attacks from the blood bat did not significantly affect him. In contrast, not far away, Chu Qingjia's face turned pale as if her entire Bodis blood was beyond her control, and a sharp blade seemed to be slicing through her sea of consciousness. She quickly circulated her cultivation technique to suppress this influence. Thunder Gang Dragon Flame. Lu Changsheng's body, with its boiling and roaring blood, shone with treasure light and ignited a fierce and domineering purple-red flame, ready to rely on the 3rd rank body refining to quickly end the battle. Hu, the vigorous chi blood magical power and the Thunder Gang Dragon Flame surged skyward, forming a fiery beacon of smoke, stirring the weather, and the scorching and violent flames illuminated the skies, burning countless blood bats into rolling bloody mist. Some of the bloody mist did not even have time to merge into other blood bats and was directly evaporated by the Thunder Gang Dragon Flame. The Thunder Gang Dragon Flame is extremely young and unyielding, exceedingly violent, and has a restraining effect on such demon path methods. Lu Changsheng had previously forgotten this point. The Thunder Gang Dragon Flame on his body surged even more violently, as if a flood dragon coiled around his fist and suddenly blasted forward. Boom! The bloody ghost shadow before him directly shattered, turning into rolling bloody ghost fog. The pupils of the ghost bat true master on the blood bat shrank, and his heart trembled, as he sensed a strong aura of danger from Lu Changsheng. His initial boldness to act against Lu Changsheng was because he saw Lu Changsheng's cultivation was only at the initial stage of core formation. The plan was to settle Lu Changsheng first, and then with the blood bat, subdue the golden-winged heavenly peng. Yet now, Lu Changsheng's aura climbed steadily, burning with a blazing, violent flame that gave him a strong sense of danger. Immediately, the ghost bat sent a message to the sect master Yiming Ghost King, requesting reinforcements. Today's battle concerned not only the dignity of the Yiming Ghost sect but the safety of 2 nascent soul immortals and his own future opportunities. If the blood bat could advance to the 4th rank, he too might hope to break through to the nascent soul stage in the future. Netherworld blood pool. Not daring to underestimate his opponent, the ghost bat true master let out a long howl, summoning a blood pool emitting a ghostly light, with viscous scarlet liquid flowing inside. This was his life-bound magic treasure, the Netherworld blood pool. It was crafted based on the Yiming Ghost Sect's supreme treasure, the Myriad Ghosts blood pool, with uncommon effects. Instantly, countless blood shadows emerged from the Netherworld blood pool, forming a mysterious and strange formation with the myriad blood bats in the sky, emitting waves of sharp and ear-piercing terror sound waves. Lu Changsheng's divine sense was incredibly stable, utterly unaffected by these sound waves. In contrast, not far away, Chu Qingyi was slightly dazed, interfered again by this wave of sound. Chu Qingyi watched the distant fierce battle, slightly biting her lips, her clear and beautiful eyes filled with an indescribably complex emotion. She had initially thought of coming to lend a hand. But now with such a battle, she found it difficult to intervene. If she entered the battlefield recklessly, Lu Changxing might even have to divide his attention to save her. Yet as she watched Lu Changxing, like both god and demon, his whole body burning with purple-red flames, she was suddenly lost in thought. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1423, Great Five Elements Divine Fist. Lu Changsheng's dragon roar origin burst open, causing strands of golden light to emerge from the Thunder Gang dragon flame. Then he deployed the divine skill punch from the Five Elements Union Sutra, breaking through layers of blood light, charging towards the Ghost Bat True Master. No wonder this person dares to cause trouble at my Yiming Ghost sect. The Ghost Bat True Master's eye twitched slightly, feeling uneasy. However, he noticed that Lu Changxing used some technique to elevate his strength to this level. So as long as he could delay engaging Lu Changxing in a prolonged battle, the opponent would find it difficult to maintain. Moreover, since this was the Yiming Ghost sect's headquarters, once reinforcements arrived, no matter how many tricks Lu Changxing had, he would have no choice but to surrender. Boom! The Ghost Bat True Master stepped forward, standing amidst the netherworld blood pool, stirred up a massive wave of blood, forming cascading waterfalls of blood. Boom boom boom, Lu Changxing and the golden-winged heavenly ping directly broke through layers of blood waterfalls, reaching the Ghost Bat True Master. But in an instant, blood surged behind the Ghost Bat True Master, forming massive bat wings glowing with dark blood light, stirring the waves of blood, and then he vanished into a shadow. Squeak squeak squeak. Meanwhile, the ancient blood bat beneath him screeched sharply, merging with the blood light of heaven and earth, forming a mysterious force, charging towards Lu Changxing. Boom boom boom. Within Lu Changsheng's body, the dragon roar origin surged, his pores flowed with dense dragon roar energy, and the Thunder Gang dragon flame raged fiercely, like a flaming azure dragon atop his head, tearing through heaven and earth, breaking the blood light. The fiery purple-red flames and the blood light filled the heavens and earth, pervading a terrifying aura, causing Chu Qingyi to feel incredibly shocked. She thought to herself, is Lu Changsheng's battle power possibly not inferior to her master? Cry. The golden-winged heavenly ping cried out, its 180,000 feathers rose like a golden sea, piercing through the blood light, causing the ancient blood bat to screech and suddenly fly into the sky to evade. But Lu Changxing realized that he and the golden-winged heavenly ping were unable to inflict any harm on the Ghost Bat True Master despite destroying the blood bats. The opponent's blood bats were different from the ghost shadows and demonic chi of the Ghost Shadow True Man, seemingly endless, continuously birthed from the Ghost Bat True Master's netherworld blood pool. Indeed, being able to break through the late stage of core formation is no simple matter. With my current strength, suppressing the Ghost Bat True Master might be difficult. Moreover, he noticed that I relied on external forces to boost my strength, so he avoided direct confrontation and aimed to buy time, waiting for an opportunity. Lu Changxing pondered the intentions of the Ghost Bat True Master. And through brief exchanges, he also noticed that the Ghost Bat True Master specialized in prolonged battles. Since that's the case, let's see now how my full power fares in battle. Lu Changsheng's eyes shone brilliantly, releasing two beams of golden divine light. Within his Qi Ocean core, the Yin-Yang Great Tao Golden Core suddenly resonated, emitting immense radiant light, and the mana of the sixth layer of core formation roared like a true dragon. Yin-Yang Great Mingling Millstone. Lu Changxing had never deployed this divine skill before. Now, with elevated cultivation, it was the perfect chance. He also wanted to see how his full power compared. Against a nascent soul cultivator like the Ghost Bat True Master, what was the gap? The yin-yang energies flowed, emanating a profound great Tao Qi mechanism, forming two yin-yang fish. One was extremely masculine and rigid, the other extremely soft and gentle, constantly entwining. Boom boom boom, as the yin-yang interacted, the world erupted, the void shattered, all of nature's spiritual energy, essence energy, and demonic chi were swept up, forming a massive grinding mill resembling a black hole funnel, rotating relentlessly, seeming to grind all things into oblivion. Boom boom boom, the blood light, blood bats, and blood shadows were immediately ground to dust by this millstone, transforming into strands of yin-yang chi, causing the millstone to seemingly grow larger, its aura terrifying. Beside him, the golden-winged heavenly ping witnessed its owner's power, naturally unwilling to lag behind, its entire body shining brightly, charging to attack the ghost bat true master. Heavenly Peng Dragon Fighting Technique. The golden-winged heavenly peng was completely radiant, dazzling like a golden rainbow. A true dragon phantom emerged atop its head, tearing through the sealed heavens, charging towards the ghost bat true master. The heavenly peng dragon fighting technique was a top-tier innate divine skill. Only a few golden-winged heavenly pengs could awaken it. Once this divine skill was unleashed, the golden divine light was like a vast ocean, tearing through limitless blood light. Not good. Seeing this, the ghost bat true master's face changed involuntarily, only now realizing that he had underestimated not only Lu Changsheng's power but also the golden-winged heavenly peng's strength. Splat! The golden true dragon coiled around the golden-winged heavenly peng's body, suddenly tearing the ghost bat true master's physical form apart. But in the blink of an eye, the ghost bat true master transformed into countless blood bats, appearing dozens of meters away, evading the strike, yet still felt an intense force causing damage to his body. The golden-winged heavenly peng's eyes were cold and ruthless, its killing intent soared. Besides the true dragon phantom atop its head, a mountainous peng phantom appeared, continuing its assault on the ghost bat true master, the endless terrifying aura making the weather shift, causing heaven and earth to lose color. When the heavenly peng dragon fighting technique was evolved to the extreme, it could form the heavenly peng battles dragon diagram. This diagram was not only a top-tier divine skill for slaughter but also could amplify its battle power. Boom boom boom. The current battle power of the golden-winged heavenly peng surpassed Lu Changsheng, who relied on the 9 treasures Rui Bone, its golden claws winding around a series of true dragons, releasing countless golden rays with every gesture, tearing heaven and earth, aiming to slay all life. Splat! The boundless blood light and waterfalls formed by the ghost bat true master's netherworld blood pool were effortlessly pierced and torn by the golden-winged heavenly peng, forcing it into a frantic retreat. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1424. Boom boom boom. However, the golden-winged heavenly peng attacked the ghost bat true master like golden lightning. Each swing of its giant claws seemed to shatter the heavenly dome, exuding an unparalleled aura. The most astonishing and terrifying thing was that the aura of the golden-winged heavenly peng continued to rise, becoming more intense with each battle. So fierce. Even Lu Changsheng was surprised to witness this scene. He knew the golden-winged heavenly peng was formidable, a top-level existence in core formation. But never did he expect it to be so fierce, its divine skills outright suppressing the late-stage core formation ghost bat true master. One must know that this ghost bat true master, as the great elder of the Yiming ghost sect, second only to the supreme elder, had absolutely unquestionable strength. Kill! Lu Changsheng looked at the ancient blood bat blocking his path, operating his yin-yang great mingling millstone. This millstone, resembling a black hole, with each rotation seemed to grind heaven and earth into powder, emanating an unstoppable power. Yet, this ancient blood bat was extraordinary as well, a top-tier existence among the third-rank late-stage demon kings, its blood wings flapping, unleashing a terrifying blood rain. This blood rain seemed to corrode and decay everything, accompanied by sharp, piercing noises. Had Lu Changsheng not awakened the Tai divine soul, with his divine sense surpassing the core formation peak, he would have been disturbed and affected, his consciousness disrupted. I can only kill this ghost bat true master first. Lu Changsheng realized that this ancient blood bat was extremely troublesome. Although his yin-yang great mingling millstone could annihilate everything, immune to countless methods. Suppressing this ancient blood bat in a short time was quite challenging. 6 Desires Heart Demon Technique, 6 Senses Locking Heart. Lu Changsheng's eyes shone brightly, shooting out 2 beams of golden divine light, targeting the ghost bat true master being pursued by the golden-winged heavenly Peng. In the sea of consciousness at his brow, the Tai divine soul, like a golden little figure, seemed to walk out, forming an invisible illusionary shadow to attack the ghost bat true master. Buzz, the ghost bat true master, who was continuously retreating, suddenly felt an intangible aura roaring in, his consciousness plunging momentarily into darkness, as if to descend into an illusion realm. However, his soul was not ordinary, and with a magical treasure suppressing his sea of consciousness, he instantly awakened from the blurry and chaotic images. Yet upon awakening, what greeted his eyes was a golden claw, entwined with a true dragon, glinting with a sharp, cold sheen. Puchi. The claws tore through the skies and earth, severing mountains and rivers, and the ghost bat true master's body was torn into 2 by the golden-winged heavenly Peng. However, in that instant, the ghost bat true master's body exploded violently, turning into rolling netherworld blood mist and scattered swiftly with a swish sound. Buzz, the next moment, the ghost bat true master reappeared several dozen feet away, his face pale. He must have used some secret magical ability just now to avoid being thoroughly suppressed by the golden-winged heavenly Peng, bearing even greater damage. Screech. The golden-winged heavenly Peng's eyes shone sharply, like blazing suns gazing at the ghost bat true master, letting out a long cry, stirring the mountains and rivers in all directions as it continued to attack him. At this moment, the golden-winged heavenly Peng fully unleashed the formidable ferocity of a true spirit-level demon king bloodline. The heavenly Peng battle's dragon diagram overhead was even more intimidating, as if it would truly descend into the world, intimidating others' mental spirits. The ancient blood bat fighting with Lu Changxing seemed affected by the aura of the golden-winged heavenly Peng, its fighting power and aura appearing somewhat diminished. Go, go, go. Where would the ghost bat true master dare to fight the golden-winged heavenly Peng any further? If the fight continued, whether he could outlast Lu Changxing was unknown to him. But he knew, if he dragged on, he would meet his end here today. Too fierce, this golden Peng bird was simply too fierce. No wonder his ancient blood bat held a sense of fear towards this Peng bird. Want to escape? Lu Changxing saw the ghost bat true master intended to flee, and once again executed the 6 Desires Heart Demon technique, propelling the yin-yang great mingling millstone to suppress the ghost bat true master. Squeak, 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 the ancient blood bat, seeing this, spread its wings, forming countless gusts of bloody rain attacking Lu Changxing. However, Lu Changxing's physical body was like a dragon, burning fiercely with flames, and with the yin-yang great mingling mill suspended overhead, he was immune to countless methods, directly ignoring the blood bat's attacks. Such terrifying divine sense attack. Who is this person exactly? Why have I never heard of such a figure? The ghost bat true master, now on guard, was not caught this time, his eyes filled with dread as he looked at Lu Changxing, his heart filled with shock. As the great elder of the Yiming ghost sect, a late-stage core formation great cultivator, he not only had knowledge of the Jin Kingdom's nascent soul immortals. He also roughly knew the famous nascent soul immortals of Jiang country, Yu country, Yuan country, Liang country, and the cultivation world. But he had no memory of a figure like Lu Changxing. A person of this caliber absolutely couldn't be unknown. Puchi. In that fleeting moment, the golden-winged heavenly Peng attacked again, reaching the ghost bat true master, its golden claws stretching out, imprisoning the void of heaven and earth. Boom! The ghost bat true master directly unleashed his netherworld blood pool. A massive amount of blood water and blood-colored bats appeared, sweeping across hundreds of feet. But the golden-winged heavenly Peng now truly embodied the power to break through all methods with brute force. Its claws tore through the heavens and the earth, any means seemed futile in front of it, and the ghost bat true master could only flee in disarray. 9 Treasures Rui Bone, Speed. Practicing ghost path and blood path cultivation techniques, the ghost bat true master excelled in fleeing, and Lu Changxing, wanting to pursue, must now activate his divine skills for empowerment. Squeak, 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 the ancient blood bat roared furiously, attempting to disrupt and influence Lu Changxing, but was extremely wary of his yin-yang great mingling millstone, not daring to get too close. After all, if it intercepted at the cost of injury, and by the time Lu Changxing and the golden-winged heavenly peng gave up on the ghost bat true master, turning to encircle and kill it, the danger would be high. At this moment, the ancient blood bat suddenly transformed into a beam of blood light, turning to attack Chu Qingyi. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1425. After reaching the level of a third-rank demon king, they already possess spiritual intelligence and noticed that Chu Qingyi's battle strength is relatively inferior. They can interfere with Lu Changxing through Chu Qingyi. Qingyi, be careful. Although Lu Changxing does not fear this ancient blood bat, he is well aware of its formidable power. The sonic soul attack is difficult for ordinary nascent soul cultivators to withstand. Even if Chu Qingyi possesses sword heart clarity and a superior grade gold core, she would still be affected and disturbed. Boom, 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 Lu Changxing immediately exerted his full strength to suppress the ancient blood bat with the yin-yang mixed hole great mill, as if trying to draw it into a black hole funnel. However, the ancient blood bat roared, and endless blood light spread. Its massive body turned into countless tiny blood bats, appearing instantly 100 feet away, making it difficult for Lu Changxing's divine skill to suppress it. Chu Qingyi bit her lip, her face cold and determined. Originally, she thought of coming here to assist Lu Changxing in some way. Unexpectedly, now not only did she fail to help, she seemed to become a burden. Otherwise, Lu Changxing and the golden peng bird could have completely suppressed Ghost Bat True Master. Her expression resolute, she steadied her mental spirit, and with a swift motion, her azure flying sword shot forth like a long rainbow, swirling with fierce and domineering chi, slashing toward the ancient blood bat. Splat! However, facing Chu Qingyi's sword, the ancient blood bat showed no fear, neither dodging nor evading, letting it strike its body. Only to see the terrifying bat body under the magical sword instantly, akin to flowing blood, straight through. What a strange technique. Chu Qingyi realized that she had struck the ancient blood bat, but it dissipated the power using its innate divine ability. Boom! Lu Changxing, with a black hole funnel above his head, surrounded by a purple-red fiery dragon, appeared godlike before Chu Qingyi, then blasted out a powerful punch, penetrating mountains and rivers. But the ancient blood bat, like Ghost Bat True Master, avoided direct confrontation with Lu Changxing, immediately evading, buying time, waiting for him to exhaust his strength. Lu Daoist, please take me into the Tianyuan Lotus. Chu Qingyi, looking at Lu Changxing's majestic figure, said with pursed lips. Seeing the situation at hand, she knew she could hardly assist Lu Changxing and did not want to be a burden. All right. Lu Changxing nodded, without hesitation, he raised his hand, and the Tianyuan Lotus appeared, taking in Chu Qingyi. Then, with the resplendent divine light from the 9 treasures Rui Bone shining on his chest, he ignored the ancient blood bat and charged directly toward Ghost Bat True Master. He could not sustain this state for long, a quick resolution was necessary. Damn it! The disoriented Ghost Bat True Master suddenly felt an imposing and inexplicable chi mechanism enveloping him. Looking back, he immediately saw a massive black hole funnel, dozens of feet wide, slowly rotating, breaking through the void of heaven and earth, coming to kill him. Gah! He made a snap decision, his whole bodice blood boiling, boosting the blood-burning escape technique another level, turning into a barely catchable scarlet light and disappearing. Screech! The golden-winged heavenly peng screeched, the mountainous great peng phantom overhead seemed one with it, rushing with wind and thunder, golden divine feathers flying, and its sharp claws tearing through the void, slashing at Ghost Bat True Master, further paling his already white face with blood spilling from his mouth. Watching the relentless clash of golden and scarlet lights, Lu Changxing felt a bit awkward. Both the man and the peng bird were so swift he couldn't quite keep up. Although he could rely on the 9 treasures Rui Bone to enhance. But now, he was on the verge of reaching a critical point. If he continued to enhance, it wouldn't be just a matter of recuperating for a few days. He might need half a year, or even several years, for recovery. Immediately, Lu Changxing gave up the pursuit of Ghost Bat True Master and maneuvered the Starlight Plate, heading swiftly toward the Yiming Ghost sect. Planning to take advantage of his current momentum to demand an explanation from the Yiming Ghost sect. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know it report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1426, Swish, Swish, Swish. Above the heavenly dome, a blood-red rainbow streaked across the sky, rolling forward, permeating a terrifying chi mechanism. Brilliant golden light continuously tore through the blood rainbow, causing endless blood to rain down from the sky, corroding the land. Damn it! Ghost Bat True Master looked deathly pale, his blood-colored magical robe in tatters. Since he broke through core formation, he hadn't been so grievously injured, killed in such a miserable and wretched manner. Today, not only did he perform the substitution tribulation technique, but also the blood-burning technique, burning his origin source. Even though the blood path cultivation technique he practiced makes recovery easier than for other cultivators, it would still take at least a dozen years to recuperate. Pish. Golden claws extended, piercing the heavens and earth, imprisoning the void, almost tearing Ghost Bat True Master's body apart, with scarlet blood splattering. Quick, quick! Ghost Bat True Master looked toward the Yiming Ghost sect ahead, never having felt such a short distance to be so far away. Woo woo woo! At this moment, Ghost Bat True Master suddenly heard the sounds of 10,000 ghosts howling, immediately showing joy. Sect Master. A tall, imposing man with deep-set eyes, an eagle nose, and sharp falcon eyes, wearing a black brocade robe, arrived piloting a blood-stained black ghost ship. Great Elder. Yiming Ghost King was deeply moved by the scene before him, filled with horror. He was well aware of his Great Elder's strength. Even he, the sect master, was no match. At this moment, the Great Elder was being chased so miserably and wretchedly by a golden peng bird. Moreover, hadn't the Great Elder just left? How did he end up in such a sorry state in such a short time? Nether Ghost Boat, suppress. Yiming Ghost King didn't hesitate, his core formation late-stage magical power surged, and the black ghost ship beneath him roared like 10,000 ghosts, emitting a terrifying demonic might to suppress all things, charging towards the golden-winged heavenly peng. This Nether Ghost Boat is a top-level magical treasure. Wherever it passed, the sky collapsed and the earth shook, rumbling loudly, with endless netherworld ghost shadows appearing, chilling all hearts. Heavenly Peng subdues dragon technique. The golden-winged heavenly peng with a true dragon phantom above its head roared, exuding unmatched ferocity. Facing the ghost ship, it was fearless, its metallic claws glowing cold, as the heavenly peng and true dragon launched, seemingly cleaving the heavens and earth asunder. Boom boom boom. The clash of two terrifying forces immediately stirred up towering waves, engulfing the firmament. From afar, one could only see the tumultuous golden sea and dark ghost energy rising and falling, as if brewing a world-destroying scene. Go, don't get entangled with it. Ghost Bat True Master came aboard the Nether Ghost Boat, his face white as a sheet, hurriedly saying to Yiming Ghost King. This golden-winged heavenly peng was too savage. Even his life-bound magic treasure, Netherworld Blood Pool, had developed cracks. Even though the solidity of the Nether Ghost Boat was superior to his Netherworld Blood Pool, it couldn't suppress the golden-winged heavenly peng. If the fight continued, Yiming Ghost King could end up seriously injured. Currently, the Supreme Elder was in closed-door cultivation, preparing to reach nascent soul. If both of them were gravely injured, the Yiming Ghost sect would fall into an extremely weak state, possibly affecting the Supreme Elder's breakthrough. Go! Without needing Ghost Bat True Master to say more, Yiming Ghost King already intended to retreat. The ghost ship under his feet trembled, with mottled bloodstains flowing, forming eerie and ominous rune patterns, crossing over towards the Yiming Ghost sect. However, how could the golden-winged heavenly peng allow the two to leave so easily? At this moment it was not only under Lu Changsheng's orders but also unwilling to stop after displaying unmatched ferocity, wanting to tear the two into pieces and devour them. Boom boom boom, golden killing light constantly burst forth, its flames surging to the heavens, tyrannical and peerless, continuously bombarding the nether ghost boat, each strike shattering the void, shaking heaven and earth. If it were an ordinary magical treasure, it would have been torn to shreds by the golden-winged heavenly Peng by now. Great Elder, what exactly happened? Ming Ghost King infused his core formation magical power madly into the nether ghost boat, asking his Great Elder. He wanted to know how he provoked such a supreme demon king. I don't know either. Ghost Bat True Master's face was ghostly pale, the spiritual light on his blood-colored magical robe was dim and damaged, nearly ruined. He felt aggrieved and speechless, not knowing how he had provoked such a fiend as Lu Changsheng. I am the sect master of the Yiming Ghost sect. I wonder where my Yiming Ghost sect offended Daoist. Ming Ghost King immediately shouted towards the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Though he could ask the Supreme Elder to leave seclusion and wield the myriad ghosts' blood pool, he was confident in suppressing the golden Peng bird. Yet, after a brief encounter, he sensed the golden-winged heavenly Peng was the fastest in the world. Even his nether ghost boat couldn't shake it off by a fraction. In which case, unless his sect laid an ambush, utilizing the Great Formation to suppress it. Otherwise, if the other side wanted to escape, his sect couldn't stop them. The golden-winged heavenly Peng remained silent. Its job was just to show its might, negotiations had nothing to do with it. Boom boom boom, a body glowing with dazzling golden light, it was like a golden sun, bursting with a ferocious and oppressive presence, bombarding the nether ghost boat, causing a tremendous racket. A moment later, the golden-winged heavenly Peng and nether ghost boat arrived before a gloomy mountain range filled with ghostly energy and dense dark clouds. This was the mountain gate of the Yiming Ghost sect. What is happening? Who dares to cause trouble at my Yiming Ghost sect? What's going on today? First, a core formation cultivator infiltrated the sect, causing Ghost Princess and Ghost Shadow Elder to leave, and afterwards, both the Great Elder and Sect Master left the sect too? Cultivators at the Yiming Ghost sect immediately sensed the terrifying Qi mechanism spreading across the heavens. Some patrolling Qi refinement cultivators felt an overwhelming weight on their bodies, trembling uncontrollably, gasping for breath. This level of combat, even at a great distance, just a few strands of suppressive aura was an immense pressure on them. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1427, Not Good, that's the Sect Master's Ming Ghost Boat. The false core Immortal stationed at the mountain gate saw the Ming Ghost Boat, his heart terrified, face full of disbelief. Absolutely couldn't believe that their own sect master had been pushed to the gate of the mountain. This, it's simply too terrifying, inconceivable. Hurry, activate the mountain protection array. This false core Immortal quickly regained his composure and shouted loudly. Then took out a token and injected mana into it wildly. Boom boom boom, in an instant, the entire Yiming Ghost sect roared, endless ghost energy rose and spread, sealing off the entire sky. The mountain protection array of the Yiming Ghost sect usually operates daily and is a third-rank superior grade entity. But with the advantage of the terrain, its power is not weaker than that of a top-grade third rank. At this moment, operating at full power, its aura climbed step by step, with endless demonic clouds and ghost fog appearing. Under the sealed sky, ghost soldiers and generals faintly appeared. Buzz. At this time, a nascent soul Immortal took over control of the formation, continuously making gesture incantations with both hands, causing a ghost king with a blue face and fangs, body like a mountain, to appear in the endless ghost fog. For such a mountain protection array, it must be controlled by a nascent soul Immortal or a top-level formation master to operate at full power. Roar roar roar, the ghost king roared, emitting a rapid and violent, deafening sound containing a heart-stopping Qi mechanism, stirring waves of wind. Ah, my head hurts. Quickly cover your ears. This roar didn't harm the golden-winged heavenly peng, but it made many disciples of the Yiming ghost sect pale, covering their ears, and some even had their bodies explode. This attack wasn't aimed at them, but the sonic onslaught was too terrifying, inevitably affecting some in the rush. The Ghost King's eyes and pupils were blood-red, like Abi Hell, an endless sea of blood, filled with infinite ferocity and dominance. In its hand appeared a simple and dark Hell's long spear, like a ruling underworld god, attacking the golden-winged heavenly peng. Buzz buzz buzz, the spear tore through the void, forming terrifying vortices, like an underworld, wanting to pull others' souls into it. Other ghost soldiers and generals at this moment formed into countless troops, attacking like a torrent of energy to suppress the golden-winged heavenly peng. Heavenly Peng battling dragon diagram. The body of the golden-winged heavenly peng glittered brilliantly, like a burning yin-yang, with the heavenly peng battling dragon diagram above its head weaving and evolving, radiating an unparalleled sharpness. Although it lacked a core formation law domain, this divine skill, the heavenly peng battling dragon diagram could counter countless law domain phenomena. Clang! The talons of the golden-winged heavenly peng entangled with the true dragon phantom clashed with the long spear, causing a piercing metallic clang. The true dragon roared. Ghosts wailed and gods howled. The void erupted with continuous thunderous sounds. The golden dragon patterned divine light and the dark hell's long spear frantically clashed, intertwining and merging unsolvably. Terrifying energy shockwaves raged above and below, tearing the space into cracks, with the land continuously breaking and collapsing. However, in this process, the true dragon phantom on the talons of the golden-winged heavenly peng gradually dimmed. Screech! The golden-winged heavenly peng realized it couldn't outlast this fourth-rank Grand Array's Ghost King. But at this moment, its instinctual unwillingness had been triggered. The heavenly peng battling dragon diagram weaved and evolved above its head, radiating brilliant divine light, making its body seem to ignite with a blazing golden divine flame. What kind of bloodline demon beast is this, so terrifying? It looks somewhat similar to a gold-winged great rock. Could it be a bloodline reversion of a golden-winged great rock? Many cultivators of the Yiming ghost sect were horrified and dumbstruck upon seeing this scene. Even the Yiming Ghost King and Ghost Bat True Master felt a shiver in their hearts, feeling deeply unsettled when looking at this golden-winged heavenly peng. Too terrifying. One must know, this is a fourth-rank Grand Array. Though this Ghost King's power isn't as strong as a nascent soul true lord, it is comparable to a nascent soul, practically a quasi-fourth rank. But now, this golden-winged heavenly peng could actually confront the Ghost King, simply unimaginable. Fellow Taoist, I'm not sure where my Yiming ghost sect has offended you. Could there be some misunderstanding between us? The Yiming Ghost King suppressed his inner anger and spoke to the golden-winged heavenly peng. Although being attacked at their mountain gate was extremely vexing. But he was keenly aware that it wouldn't be easy to keep this golden-winged heavenly peng unless they fought bitterly. The golden-winged heavenly peng still remained silent, radiating fierce might. This demon king is someone else's spiritual pet, perhaps we'll know when this person arrives. Beside him, the Ghost Bat True Master clutched his chest, speaking pale-faced. He sensed his ancient blood bat nearing, about to arrive. Spiritual pet, the Yiming Ghost King's face was extremely grave. To be able to tame such a spiritual pet, this person's strength is beyond doubt. He just noticed their great elder's ancient blood bat absent, realizing something was amiss. Before long, a massive black hole funnel swirled in the sky, seeming ready to crush all under it. Looking closely, below the funnel, a figure stood tall, with starlight flowing beneath their feet. Golden Peng, come back. Lu Chongqing looked at the Golden Peng engaging with the Yiming Ghost Sect's Grand Array and called out. His soul was sharp, sensing the terror of this Grand Array before him. The chi mechanism was immense, mighty and vast. Even though he had the fate-defying robe, unsealing divine light, and dozens of third-rank prohibition-breaking talismans, facing this fourth-rank Grand Array, he feared it wouldn't be enough to break through. However, seeing that the Yiming Ghost Sect only engaged with the golden-winged heavenly peng through the Grand Array and no one else acted or set up battle formations, it confirmed his suspicion. As long as he demonstrated power and had enough combat strength, the Yiming ghost sect would also be wary. If they're not certain they can kill him, they won't want to fight to the death. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1428. The golden-winged heavenly Peng let out an unwilling cry, clashing with the netherworld long spear in a thunderous explosion, shattering the void continuously, with surging energy sweeping in a pulsating manner in all directions. It then turned into a golden arc and returned beneath Lu Changsheng's feet, its fierce might unparalleled. Hiss! 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 All the cultivators of the Yiming ghost sect were shocked and dumbfounded, unable to believe their eyes upon witnessing this. Such an ultimate demon king was actually someone else's mount. What's going on with this world? However, they also felt a sense of dread upon seeing the slowly rotating black hole funnel above Lu Changsheng's head. They felt that without the protection of the sect's grand array, their physical bodies and souls would be crushed to dust. Chirp chirp chirp. At this moment, on the other side, the ancient blood bat, filled with fear, avoided Lu Changsheng and the golden-winged heavenly Peng, flying towards the Yiming ghost sect. In fact, its speed was no slower than Lu Changsheng's. It only feared that if it went ahead, it would be blocked by the golden-winged heavenly Peng and Lu Changsheng. Who are you? The Yiming ghost king, dressed in a black brocade robe, stood majestically on the ghost ship and spoke in a deep voice. I am Yang Ming. Your sect's ghost demon true master, as a nascent soul cultivator, shamelessly attacked my son, leaving him half-crippled. I have come to your Yiming ghost sect to demand an explanation. Lu Changsheng, clad in a dark brocade robe, with the formless treasure wheel in his mind like a blazing golden sun, exuded an extraordinary heroic aura, standing atop the brilliantly radiant golden-winged heavenly Peng with a composed and majestic demeanor. What? Ghost demon true master? The Yiming ghost king and ghost bat true master were taken aback, somewhat bewildered. They never expected the person before them to come for the ghost demon true master. For the sake of a ghost demon true master, did you really have to let the golden-winged heavenly Peng attack so recklessly? Ghost bat true master felt utterly aggrieved. Having just seen Lu Changsheng subdue the ghost princess and ghost shadow true master, he thought Lu Changsheng was colluding with Chu Qingyi to plot against their sect. But you say you came for the ghost demon true master? Buzz. Lu Changsheng lightly raised his hand, and Chu Qingyi and Lu Chuanjun emerged from the Tianyuan lotus onto the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Chu Qingyi and Lu Chuanjun, witnessing the situation before them, were both astonished. They did not expect Lu Changsheng to actually arrive at the gates of the Yiming ghost sect. This was a provocation, a blatant provocation to any power. However, seeing the Yiming ghost sect's mountain protection array fully activated yet not attacking, they realized something was amiss. Although Lu Changsheng had already clashed with the Yiming ghost sect, he wasn't engaging in full-scale battle, indicating negotiations were ongoing. Chu Qingyi keenly noticed the ghost bat true master on the Yiming ghost ship. Seeing the Yiming ghost sect's great elder with a pale face, devoid of color, and his blood-red magical robe dim and tattered, she was deeply puzzled. There was no need to guess, such methods were Lu Changsheng's doing. Lu Changsheng had inflicted such misery on this ghost bat true master, no wonder the Yiming ghost sect was willing to sit down and negotiate. Because if they weren't confident in dealing with Lu Changsheng, enmity would lead to endless troubles. Hand over the ghost demon true master. Lu Changsheng continued, his indifferent voice like rumbling thunder echoing through the skies and earth. Daoist, you subdued 2 of our Yiming ghost sect's nascent soul cultivators, and now you demand people from our sect. Isn't this too overbearing? The ghost bat true master's voice was icy and bone-chilling. Even though he was displeased with the ghost demon true master, the latter was still his sect's nascent soul cultivator. If bullied to their doorstep and the ghost demon true master handed over, the Yiming ghost sect would become a complete laughing stock, with its reputation plummeting. Moreover, with such an event, how could other disciples still serve the sect? How would guest elders and tributes be willing to join their Yiming ghost sect? Overbearing? You're a Yiming ghost sect, shamelessly bullying the young, attacked my son, assaulted my wife, and you call me overbearing. Since your Yiming ghost sect isn't willing to give me an explanation, then don't blame me for being shameless. Lu Changxing sneered coldly, speaking in a chilling tone. Faced with this Yiming ghost sect, he indeed had no choice. But if your Yiming ghost sect had the ability, then never leave the gates. Why is he spouting nonsense again? Originally tense-faced, Chu Qingyi felt her heart skip a beat upon hearing Lu Changsheng's words, looking at him with slight annoyance. But seeing Lu Changsheng's profound gaze and composed demeanor, standing alone against the Yiming ghost sect, she couldn't help but lightly press her red lips and lower her head. Daoist acting in such a manner, aren't you disregarding our Yiming ghost sect? The Yiming ghost king's face was unsightly, his late-stage core formation mana surging up and down. The nascent soul cultivator in charge of the mountain protection array saw this and immediately fully operated the array, with rolling mist moving as if sealing the heavenly dome. With a green face and tusks, like a mountain, the ghost king roared ferociously, clutching the hell's long spear, staring fixedly at Lu Changxing, forming an indescribable terrifying presence. Boom! However, Lu Changxing was completely fearless, with surging and majestic magical power mechanism flowing, as the yin-yang mixed whole great mill above crushed the firmament, directly tearing a rift in the demon cloud-covered sky. Since I dared to come to your Yiming ghost sect, I naturally have some confidence in my divine skills. Hand over the ghost demon true master. Lu Changsheng's face remained calm and indifferent as he spoke coldly. The Yiming ghost king and ghost bat true master's faces were quite unsightly. The golden-winged heavenly peng alone rendered them helpless, requiring reliance on the sect's array. And Lu Changxing emanated an aura that made them feel danger. Knowing that the opponent dared to come knocking, his means were undoubtedly extraordinary. In this situation, they must request that the Supreme Elder come out to have a chance of resolution. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1429. But now the Supreme Elder is in closed-door cultivation, and even if he emerges, he may not be able to suppress Lu Changxing and the golden-winged heavenly peng. Moreover, Lu Changxing still has two nascent soul immortals from the Yiming ghost sect under his control. For any sect, nascent soul immortals are incredibly precious and are top-level combat power. If they lose two nascent soul immortals, it would be a severe loss of primordial energy for the Yiming ghost sect, especially at such a critical juncture. Notify Ghost Demon True Master to come over. The Yiming Ghost King, after his expression fluctuated between gloom and brightness, said in a deep voice. Yes, Sect Master. A false core immortal hurriedly responded and headed to the cave mansion of the Ghost Demon True Master. Moments later, the Ghost Demon True Master, with a pale face and somewhat disordered magic aura, arrived at the mountain gate, somewhat bewildered. He had been attacked by the old demon Jintian a few days ago and had just returned to the sect, recuperating and healing. He never expected that someone would come to seek an explanation from him. Their sect, after all, was one of the three great demon sects of the Jin Kingdom, who would dare cause trouble at their sect. He saw Lu Chuanjun on the golden-winged heavenly peng, his scarlet eyes suddenly contracted, not expecting Lu Chuanjun to be the one causing trouble. Ghost Demon True Master, the other party claims you attacked and severely damaged his son's foundation. Is this true? The Yiming Ghost King looked at the Ghost Demon True Master and said in a deep voice. Reporting to the sect master, this child killed my son, so I attacked him. The Ghost Demon True Master replied hoarsely and firmly. Daoist Yangming, this matter arose because of your son, how can you put the blame on our sect? The Yiming Ghost King immediately said, his voice icy and chilling. If this old dog hadn't provoked my son, would such an incident have been caused? Moreover, I would not intervene in disputes among the younger generation. He issued a bounty and dispatched over a dozen foundation establishment cultivators to hunt my son, and I didn't say a word. But as a nascent soul cultivator, to attack my son and cripple his foundation, isn't that going too far? As Lu Changxing spoke, the the yin-yang mixed whole great mill above his head trembled violently, stirring the winds and clouds across the 9 heavens, tearing and crushing the canopy of the sky, with a momentum that was ferocious and terrifying. Screech! The golden-winged heavenly peng seemed to sense its master's anger and screeched to the sky. The heavenly peng battling dragon diagram interweaved and spread, and countless golden divine feathers arranged neatly, like a golden ocean, with a chi mechanism that was terrifying and a killing intent that was shocking. Upon hearing these words, many disciples of the Yiming ghost sect felt that the ghost demon true master had indeed gone too far. Duel among the younger generation should remain among them. If everyone used their seniority to bully the young, there would be no need for any force to cultivate future generations. Furthermore, if the other party's son could remain unscathed among so many peers, it meant he was a top-tier prodigy. Such a prodigy ending up with his foundation half-crippled, no wonder there was such anger. At this moment, many Foundation establishment disciples of the Yiming ghost sect felt a wave of worry and fear in their hearts. They feared that Lu Changxing might also use his seniority to bully the young and take action against them, the Foundation establishment cultivators. If that were the case, they might not need to leave the sect anymore. Daoist Yangming, it can't be put that way. Your son killed the son of the ghost demon true master, and killed several disciples of our Yiming ghost sect. He must bear some responsibility. Although the ghost demon true master was wrong, as a parent, you should know the pain of losing a child. Why not let ghost demon true master offer compensation and apologize to the young friend? Wouldn't that be better? The Yinming ghost king tried to soften his tone, transforming Lu Changsheng's conflict into one between him and the ghost demon true master. In this way, it would not overly affect the reputation of their Yiming ghost sect afterward. The face of the ghost demon true master beside him was ugly, but he did not dare to say anything. After all, he had caused such a big trouble for the sect, and if it could not be resolved, his own future in the sect would not be pleasant. Moreover, being able to resolve this grievance now is good, otherwise, if Lu Changxing held a grudge, who knows how he might die, and it's not possible to hide in the sect and isolate himself indefinitely. Does Daoist think that I would care about such compensation? Lu Changxing said indifferently, his expression still cold. This sect master naturally believes Daoist does not lack such compensation, but it is merely some compensation for your son. Of course, if Daoist has any additional conditions, feel free to voice them. The Yinming ghost sect saw that Lu Changxing did not take action and was willing to dialogue, so they came with purpose. Moreover, he saw that Lu Chuanjin on the golden-winged heavenly peng had a disordered aura and blood-red eyes, as if eroded by blood fiend, guessing that Lu Changxing might want to resolve the issue through their side. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1430. My son has been harmed by this old dog, the blood fiend eroding his foundation, almost half ruined. If your sect can resolve this matter, then we can continue discussions. If you cannot resolve it, then there's no need to talk further. Lu Changxing spoke coldly, the yin-yang mixed whole great millstone hovering above his head spinning endlessly, its supreme power reversing life and death and yin-yang, threatening to engulf this realm. His primary objective on this journey was to solve Lu Quanzhen's physical condition. To see if the Yiming ghost sect had a way to resolve it. Blood fiend invading the body? May I take a look at your son? The Yinming ghost king squinted his eyes, looking toward Lu Chuanjin, speaking in a deep voice. Since Lu Changxing came with an agenda as he speculated, then the issue becomes easier to tackle. The greatest fear was that the other party sought vengeance for his son, leading to a fight to the death. Especially with one possessing such overwhelming combat strength, whose background and origins remain unknown. That's fine. The formless treasure will rotated behind Lu Changsheng's head, gently opening a tiny gap in the yin-yang mysterious divine light enveloping Lu Chuanjin. Buzz, instantaneously, Lu Chuanjin felt a deep and terrifying aura, akin to an abyss and hell. This wasn't directed at him but was the suppressive presence of the Yiming ghost sect's 4th-rank Grand Array. Even a mere wisp of its aura is incredibly terrifying for chi refinement and foundation establishment cultivators. Soon, a divine sense probed toward him. Lu Chuanjun offered no resistance, knowing it was the Yinming Ghost King's divine sense checking his physical condition. Indeed, it is netherworld blood evil. Not only has his physical body and mana been eroded by the blood fiend, but also his soul and Tao foundation. However, this situation seems somewhat like someone channeled the netherworld blood evil technique into him, resulting in a deviation and damage to his foundation. The Yinming Ghost King's brow furrowed, finding Lu Quanzhen's situation quite peculiar. Ordinary individuals would never be eroded by the netherworld blood evil to such an extent. Or rather, being eroded to this degree would have long resulted in death. It would be impossible to still be alive. When he wanted to examine Lu Quanzhen's situation more profoundly, a grand and vast divine sense appeared, isolating and repelling his own divine sense. This person's divine sense. The Yinming Ghost King's heart suddenly jolted, then looked at Lu Changxing with a face full of shock. He had cultivated Ghost Dao cultivation techniques, and his divine sense was unlike that of ordinary people, already comparable to the core formation peak. Yet, in front of Lu Changsheng's divine sense momentarily, he felt small, and couldn't help but suspect Lu Changsheng's divine sense had already reached nascent soul level. This was very astonishing. Although core formation peak and nascent soul were separated by a thin line, they were vastly different. If in the core formation stage, one possesses nascent soul divine sense, it's simply shocking. Suppressing the shock in his heart, he said in a deep voice, "Your son's foundation is entangled by the blood fiend, his foundation damaged. I deeply apologize. If you wish for a resolution, there are two options available." The Yinming Ghost King spoke as such while simultaneously sending a transmission to the Ghost Demon True Master to inquire about Lu Quanzhen's situation. "Sect Master, I am not clear on this matter either." The Ghost Demon True Master felt extremely aggrieved at this moment. Not only did his son die at Lu Quanzhen's hands, but also the disciples sent to hunt him ended up dead. Then, he, a revered nascent soul immortal, proactively took on a foundation establishment junior, only for his pursuit of revenge to quickly be interrupted by his old adversary Jintian Old Demon, leading to severe injuries. Now, he was being approached by the other party's elder, feeling utterly frustrated and annoyed. Jintian Old Demon, 5 Poisons Cult's heavenly spider emissary? The Yinming Ghost King furrowed his brows upon hearing this. He was somewhat aware of the matters between Jintian Old Demon and Ghost Demon True Master. But why was Nangong Meili involved? What are the options? Lu Changsheng's voice was deep and robust as he spoke. Firstly, if your son wishes to switch to cultivating the netherworld blood evil technique, our sect can use the myriad ghosts' blood pool to assist him in cultivating this technique, thus neutralizing the blood fiend. The Yinming Ghost King spoke up. These sect cultivation techniques are not passed outside. But should Lu Chuanjun transition to the netherworld blood evil technique, he will have ties with their Yiming Ghost sect. Subsequent cultivation techniques, divine abilities, magical treasures, all would rely on their Yiming Ghost sect. Then through these, they could turn animosities into friendship with Lu Changsheng or even make him indebted. However, he also knew the likelihood of the other party choosing this option was very small and wouldn't agree. Aside from this, our Yiming Ghost sect has another cultivation technique that can resolve your son's netherworld blood evil. However, this technique is difficult to cultivate, has certain risks, and considering your son's current state, it is somewhat troublesome to cultivate. The Yinming Ghost King continued. The netherworld blood evil originated from their Yiming Ghost sect, so naturally, they have methods to resolve it. The simplest method would merely require Lu Chuanjun to enter the myriad ghosts' blood pool and invest a vast amount of heavenly and earthly treasures to easily resolve it. However, such supreme treasures, methods, would never be used for outsiders. What cultivation technique? Lu Changxing inquired. Whoosh, the Yinming Ghost King produced a black jade slip in hand, shooting it swiftly toward Lu Changxing. Lu Changxing lightly raised his hand, easily but heavily grasping the jade slip, scanning it with his divine sense, instantly seeing through it a cultivation technique, Netherworld King technique. This cultivation technique doesn't expel and dissipate the netherworld blood evil, but refines it for one's own use. However, to transform the blood fiend into personal use, one must cultivate this technique to the second level. But given Lu Quanzhen's current physical state, let alone reaching the second level, just cultivating this technique itself is quite challenging. If Taoist Yangming chooses this method, our sect can also provide a Vajra Sharira as compensation. This Sharira can suppress the netherworld blood evil, balance your son's physical body, and assist in cultivating this technique. The Yinming Ghost King spoke, demonstrating ample sincerity. Primarily, he truly wished to avoid entanglements with the ominous star that is Lu Changsheng, preferring to send him away swiftly. Vajra Sharira? Lu Changsheng raised an eyebrow. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know it report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1431. Back then, after obtaining the Brahman demon true saint technique, cultivation required heavenly demon blood, demonic Tao origin, and Buddhist relic, so he slightly learned about the Buddhist relic. He knew that in Jiang country, Yu country, and this area of Jin kingdom, there was simply no Buddhist sect presence. Unexpectedly, this Yiming ghost sect actually had the Buddhist Vajra Sharira. It can only be said that a sect with thousands of years of heritage and accumulation truly has an extraordinary foundation. Among the sect treasure vault were many rare heavenly and earthly treasures hardly seen by the outside world. What grade? Lu Changsheng inquired. In fact, on seeing this netherworld king technique, he was somewhat confident in solving the Lu Chuanzhen issue. Currently, Lu Quanzhen's body was too weak. But as long as he continuously healed him with the healing divine light and Lu Maiage's Tai true water, Lu Quanzhen's body could be gradually nurtured. Once Lu Quanzhen's body improved sufficiently to slightly suppress the netherworld blood evil, he could attempt to cultivate this netherworld king technique. However, upon hearing about the Vajra Sharira, Lu Changsheng was also interested in seeing it. Third rank Vajra Sharira, used a few times, with some energy consumed, but enough to suppress the blood evil in your son's body. The Yinming Ghost King said thus, then signaled someone to fetch this Vajra Sharira. Take a look at this cultivation method. Lu Changsheng handed the Netherworld King technique in his hand to Lu Chuanzhen for him to see himself. Netherworld King technique. Lu Chuanzhen recognized that this was a body refinement method, turning the blood evil for his own use. The only problem was that his current condition made it hard to cultivate. Or else, after cultivation, his body might undergo other changes. Father, Lu Chuanzhen immediately expressed his concern. Lu Changsheng nodded in acknowledgement. Taoist, please see. A moment later, the Yinming Ghost King held a brocade box in his hand. Upon opening it, inside was a thumb-sized, milky white bead emitting a faint golden glow. Is this the Vajra Sharira? Lu Changsheng's eyes lit up, shooting out two beams of golden light, looking at this Vajra Sharira. He could see that this Vajra Sharira somewhat resembled the nascent soul of cultivators and the inner core of demon beasts. However, as the Yinming Ghost King said, this relic had been used several times, with its energy somewhat depleted. In that case, as long as that old dog agrees to one more condition of mine, this matter will rest here. Lu Changsheng nodded, looking at the ghost demon true master beside the Yinming Ghost King, his eyes gleaming fiercely. The ghost demon true master, upon being gazed at by Lu Changsheng, immediately felt a chill, as if facing a formidable enemy, and instinctively retreated a step. Danger. With a simple look, he could feel a terrifying danger as if his life was soon to end. Damn, with a father like this kid has, who knew not to mention it earlier. The ghost demon true master cursed silently in his heart. What condition? The Yinming Ghost King, clad in a black brocade robe, exuded authority without anger, his core formation late-stage mana surged, and his aura was not weak. Very simple, this old dog likes to bully the weak, this seat will not bully him. Just let him withstand 3 moves from me. Lu Changsheng spoke with a calm and indifferent demeanor. He also knew, hoping for Yiming Ghost Sect to hand over the Ghost Demon True Master was impossible. Unless he completely overpowered Yiming Ghost Sect, no faction would make such a decision. At these words, the scene immediately erupted. All cultivators glanced at the golden-winged heavenly peng under Lu Changsheng, then at the black hole funnel above him, grinding the universe and the sun and the moon, and finally at the Ghost Demon True Master, their faces twitching. Even knowing the Ghost Demon True Master as a nascent soul cultivator, cultivating the blood path cultivation technique with tenacious life force, they didn't think he could withstand 3 moves from Lu Changsheng. This is impossible. The Ghost Demon True Master shouted loudly. Not to mention that he was already injured. Even in peak condition, he dared not face 3 moves from Lu Changsheng head-on. His great elder, being a core formation late-stage existence, looked miserable and embarrassed at the moment. Going up to take 3 moves was tantamount to a death sentence. I have already made concessions on this matter, Daoist, do not go too far. Yiming Ghost King said in a deep voice. Though he felt the Ghost Demon True Master was somewhat disgraceful, it was impossible to have him take 3 moves now. After all, the obvious could see that under 3 moves, even if the Ghost Demon True Master didn't die, he would be reduced to a cripple. Too far. My son's foundation is half-wasted, lifespan greatly reduced, even if the netherworld blood evil is resolved, his Dao foundation remains damaged, making future core formation difficult, and you call this excessive. Lu Changsheng's muscles burned with purple-red flames, as fierce as 100 Zhang flood dragon coiled. Above his head, the yin-yang mixed whole great millstone spun furiously, bursting with endless black and white divine light, inverting the universe, disturbing yin and yang, shattering the void, and twisting all things. Beside him, Chu Qingyi and Lu Chuanjun were shocked, feeling that under the great mill, the world withered. Roar, 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 Yiming Ghost Sect's mountain protection array prohibitions flowed. The Ghost King roared and howled as if a mountain, waving the hell's long robe in his hand, countless nether vortexes appeared. The clash of 2 intangible chi mechanisms swept the heavens and the earth in all directions, pressing the slowly moaning sky as if the world were lamenting. Daoist Yangming, I said, the Ghost Demon True Master will compensate for this matter. You may voice any compensation requirements. With fists clenched under his sleeves, the Yiming Ghost King suppressed his inner anger, wore a dignified expression, and spoke in a deep voice. Father, the matter of the Ghost Demon True Master, I will personally resolve in the future, please spare his life for now. At this moment, Lu Chuanjun also stepped forward to advise. He could see that today, Father's desire to kill the Ghost Demon True Master was unattainable. Unless his power completely suppressed them, no faction would concede and sacrifice their sect elder. If the intimidation was too heavy, even if Father was unafraid, it might invite unnecessary trouble. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1432, Alright. Lu Changsheng's expression was indifferent. After a moment of silence, he said, 3rd rank lifespan extension pill, lifespan treasures, coagulation crystal elixir, top-level core formation spiritual object. That's impossible. Upon hearing this, Ghost Demon True Master immediately shouted loudly. Although the compensation would be covered by the sect for him, he would still have to repay it himself through contributions and sect tasks. Resources like the 3rd rank lifespan extension pill and coagulation crystal elixir are strategic level resources, with immeasurable value. He already lacked resources, making it difficult to break through the core formation middle stage. If he owed these resources, there would be no hope of breaking through the core formation middle stage in his lifetime. Yiming Ghost King did not speak, turning to look at the Great Elder, Ghost Bat True Master, beside him. For such strategic level resources as coagulation crystal elixir, even he as the sect master could not make the decision. Give it to him. Ghost Bat True Master said in a deep voice. He initially had some intention of procrastinating and consuming time. But after observing for so long without Lu Changsheng's mana dwindling, he realized there was a problem with the opponent. In such circumstances, if they let him escape, there wouldn't be a single person in the sect capable of defeating Lu Changsheng or the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Even if the Supreme Elder emerged, it would be of no use. Unless he constantly carried the supreme treasure, Myriad Ghost's blood pool, he wouldn't be able to face Lu Changsheng and the golden Peng bird, and could only retreat. Thus, he was really unwilling to continue entangling with Lu Changsheng and harboring grievances. Consider it as spending money to avoid disaster. It's acceptable. On behalf of Ghost Demon True Master, he'll offer another coagulation crystal elixir, a third-rank lifespan extension pill, and a core formation spiritual object as compensation. Yinming Ghost King glanced at Ghost Demon True Master beside him, spoke with a somewhat sullen and ugly expression. Today, being bullied to the mountain gate and forced to offer such compensation is an utter humiliation for him. It's likely that soon, this matter will draw attention and discussion from other forces, leading to his sect's reputation falling greatly. Now, it's important to maintain stability. Once the Supreme Elder breaks through to nascent soul, all rumors will vanish like smoke, welcoming a major reckoning. Ghost Bat True Master, as if knowing what Yinming Ghost King was contemplating, spoke in a low voice. Today, arguably the most wretched would be him, this great elder of Yiming Ghost sect. But considering Lu Changsheng's strength and his sect's situation, he chose to swallow this indignation. Lu Changsheng was slightly surprised. He didn't expect Yiming Ghost sect to agree so readily. He initially thought a single third-rank lifespan extension pill or coagulation crystal elixir would suffice. Good. As Daoist said, with this compensation, this grievance shall cease. Lu Changsheng nodded, saying no more. Knowing that this sort of matter shouldn't be pushed any further. Otherwise, if pushed too far, Yiming Ghost sect might directly use the Myriad Ghost's blood pool to pursue him, or even spend a great deal to enlist the nascent soul true lords from Five Poisons cult and Heavenly Corpse sect to take action. Since this matter's grievances have been resolved, shouldn't Yangming Daoist release the two elders you have suppressed from our sect? Yinming Ghost King looked at Lu Changsheng, speaking in a deep voice. He was willing to pay such a high price not only because he didn't want to continue entangling with Lu Changsheng but also because there were still two nascent soul cultivators in his hands. Lu Changsheng raised an eyebrow, his face serious as he said, one thing at a time. This matter concerned the Ghost Demon True Master's attack on my son, and those two attacked my wife. How could it be dismissed so easily? Yangming Daoist, one must know restraint in their actions. Yinming Ghost King finally couldn't suppress the anger in his heart. Individually, they were indeed not a match for Lu Changsheng and the golden-winged heavenly Peng. But their Yiming Ghost sect has endured for thousands of years. Besides the supreme treasure, Myriad Ghost's blood pool, they also have several secret treasures and killing devices. If employed properly, these could potentially annihilate Lu Changsheng. Lu Daoist, Chu Qingyi, seeing Lu Changsheng standing up for her, was touched and softly suggested there was no need for such actions. After all, truly infuriating Yiming Ghost sect would not benefit either side. Lu Changsheng squeezed her palm and said to Yinming Ghost King, 2 people, 2 coagulation crystal elixirs, you can redeem them. He knew that with the Ghost Demon True Master's situation, Yiming Ghost sect had already conceded. He still wanted to extort more from the two, but Yiming Ghost sect wouldn't agree. After all, such matters involve not only resources as compensation but also face. That's impossible. Yinming Ghost King directly said coldly. This wasn't just unwillingness to take another step back. Coagulation crystal elixir is a strategic reserved resource, and their Yiming Ghost sect doesn't have many. If they took out 2 more for Lu Changsheng, and the Supreme Elder falls or the sect encounters danger in the future, they wouldn't be able to cultivate new nascent soul immortals immediately. Lu Daoist, like strategic level resources such as coagulation crystal elixir, even Yiming Ghost sect reserves at most several, not too many. Chu Qingyi transmitted her voice to Lu Changsheng. Coagulation crystal elixirs are strategic level resources for any force and cannot be supplied in unlimited quantities. Not possible for it to be written off like this. Daoist can name a price to redeem them. Lu Changsheng spoke out, the formless treasure will at the back of his head spinning, opening the realm, suppressing the seductive beauty and ghost shadow true master beside him. The seductive beauty and ghost shadow true master were stunned and bewildered upon seeing the situation before them. What the heck? Isn't the Great Elder here to save us? How did this person come to our mountain gate, and the sex grand array is operational? It's the Ghost Princess. Ghost shadow true master has also been suppressed by this man. Seeing this scene, the cultivators of Yiming Ghost sect were shocked, staring dumbfounded. The seductive beauty was fine, being merely an initial stage core formation cultivator. But Ghost Shadow True Master had long since broken through to the core formation middle stage, and having cultivated that the netherworld myriad ghost art, even late-stage core formation cultivators would generally find it difficult to suppress him. Yet now, he had been suppressed and captured by Lu Changxing. This was very astonishing, incredibly astonishing. At this moment, all the false core immortals and core formation cultivators on the scene had disdainful looks directed toward Ghost Demon True Master. If there were anything better to trouble, it brought such a calamity upon them. If this person disregarded martial virtues and lurked outside, hunting them down, none of them would be able to escape from Lu Changsheng's grasp. Yiming Ghost King's mana was surging all over, his robe fluttering, wanting to directly activate the grand array and charge at Lu Changsheng. But he forcibly suppressed his anger and looked at the Great Elder beside him. After consulting for a while, they were willing to offer 1 more coagulation crystal elixir and 3 ordinary core formation spiritual objects. Compared to coagulation crystal elixir, for these top-level forces, core formation spiritual objects were not rare, they had normal production pathways. Agreed. Hearing this, Lu Changxing did not haggle. Immediately, both sides exchanged vows. Yiming Ghost King gave the complete Netherworld King technique, Vajra Sharira, 1 coagulation crystal elixir, 3rd rank lifespan extension pill, and 1 top-level core formation spiritual object to Lu Changxing. Lu Changxing cast aside the suppressed seductive beauty and ghost shadow true master to Yiming Ghost King. Yiming Ghost King tossed 1 coagulation crystal elixir and 3 ordinary core formation spiritual objects to Lu Changxing. Given all this, grievances are settled. Lu Changxing said solemnly, then directly signaled the golden-winged heavenly peng to leave. Screech. The golden-winged heavenly peng screeched, its whole body radiant in gold, soaring in mid-air with spread wings, tearing through the sky, disappearing like a long rainbow. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know it report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1433, Yangming True Master. The Yiming Ghost King clenched his fists tightly, his face gloomy as water after seeing the disappearance of the golden-winged heavenly peng. Today, their Yiming Ghost sect being provoked in such a manner was simply a great humiliation. Ghost Demon True Master, did you say that the shocking heaven old demon and the 5 poisons cult's heavenly spider suddenly appeared? At this time, he looked towards the Ghost Demon True Master beside him and asked coldly. Although the grievances are clear, it ends here. But this great loss, how could their Yiming Ghost sect possibly swallow it? If the Supreme Elder did not break through to the nascent soul, it would be fine. Once their Supreme Elder breaks through to the nascent soul, they will naturally settle this matter with the other party. Yes, Sect Master. The Ghost Demon True Master at this moment seemed much older, with a somewhat stooped figure. The compensation given to Lu Changxing would mostly be accounted on him afterward. At this moment, as if thinking of something, he spoke, Sect Master, Nangong Meili might know the identity information of this person. At that time, Nangong Meili faced the shocking heaven old demon and mentioned, do you know the identity of this person? Although the identity information was not revealed, he might know something. The Ghost Demon True Master said in a hoarse voice. Nangong Meili, the Yiming Ghost King's face slightly tightened. He felt that Nangong Meili's involvement was somewhat strange when he heard the Ghost Demon True Master's words. After pondering for a moment, he looked at the Ghost Princess beside him and inquired about Chu Qingjia's situation, wanting to know the other's background. Previously, Chu Qingyi caused some commotion, but he didn't know what was going on. Reporting to the sect master, the enchanting woman immediately recounted the situation of Chu Qingyi and the divine skills Lu Changxing used after appearing. Screech. The golden-winged heavenly peng spread its wings in the sky, stirring up fierce gang winds like a golden rainbow, directly charging into the 9th heavenly gang wind layer. Lu Changxing placed Lu Chuanjun into the Tianyuan lotus. At this speed of flight, he must expend great magical power to protect Lu Chuanjun. But after the recent battle, he was greatly depleted and could no longer afford to waste mana. Meanwhile, the 9 treasures Rui Bone divine skill ceased functioning, the enhancement of essence energy ebbed like a tide, making Lu Changxing feel weak and sore all over, his face exhausted. Lu Daoist, are you okay? Chu Qingyi noticed the terrifying spiritual pressure, as boundless as the sea around Lu Changxing, dissipate, his aura somewhat chaotic, and immediately showed concern. She had been worried that Lu Changxing, using secret techniques to enhance his cultivation strength, might cause some damage or after effects. After all, these kinds of secret techniques often have side effects, causing stress and damage to the body. And Lu Changxing's enhancement was terrifyingly extreme, lasting so long, it bound to have adverse effects. Cough, 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 Lu Changxing immediately coughed twice. Then, his weak and unstable body leaned on Chu Qingyi's tall and graceful figure, shaking his head and gently saying, I'm fine, just a bit weak, they'll be fine after a rest. Being held like this by Lu Changxing, Chu Qingyi lightly bit her red lips and then supported him, softly saying, Lu Daoist, we must leave the region boundary of the Yiming Ghost sect as soon as possible. The Ghost Bat True Master must know that you will be in a weak period next, and might invite a diviner to deduce your situation. Although grievances are clear. But she was very aware that such matters, the Yiming Ghost sect would not easily let go. Divination? Lu Changxing raised an eyebrow. His fate-defying robe had the effect of blocking divination deductions. The Tianyuan lotus could also obscure heavenly secrets. Unless the Yiming Ghost sect invites a 4th-rank divination master and spends lifespan, it would be difficult to deduce his situation information. Don't worry, I have a secret treasure that can isolate divination deductions and confuse heavenly secrets. Lu Changxing embraced Chu Qingyi, resting his head on her fragrant shoulder, inhaling the scent of her hair, and said gently. Feeling the hot breath by her ear and the hands clasped around her waist and hips, Chu Qingyi's delicate body trembled slightly, feeling somewhat weak, thinking to herself how could he be so restless in this condition, but considering Lu Changxing's current state of weakness, she didn't say anything. The Tianyuan lotus has the effect of obscuring and concealing heavenly secrets deductions, but before Chuanjun fell into the hands of the ghost demon True Master, we must still be careful. These demonic path cultivators, cultivating the blood path cultivation technique, might have Quanzhen's blood, potentially allowing them to deduce clues. Chu Qingyi knew that Lu Changxing's Tianyuan lotus was just one step short of advancing to the heavenly Yuan Dao lotus, which would have the effect of obscuring heavenly secrets. But aside from Lu Changxing himself, Lu Chuanjun must also be cautious. Hearing this, Lu Changxing immediately realized that not only Lu Chuanjun but also Meng Xiaochan and Nangong Mili should be reminded to be careful. A few days ago, he had been with Lu Chuanjun at the Immortal Spider Marketplace. If the Yiming Ghost sect invites a divination grandmaster, they might trace some clues. No wonder few dare to provoke these major forces. Not only do you need to crush them in strength, but you must be alone, without any weak points, otherwise, it is too easy to leave hidden threats. Lu Changxing pondered in his mind, realizing that these top-level forces are very troublesome to deal with, making sure there are no hidden risks and being foolproof is extremely difficult. Otherwise, once these forces get some clues, they might someday appear like a venomous snake, coming up to bite you. If you don't have other items to confuse heavenly secrets, let Chuanjun stay in the cave heaven as much as possible during this time. When I return, I will apply for a heavenly secrets jade from the sect, which can block heavenly secrets deductions. Chu Qingyi said softly. Although there are few who are proficient in divination deductions, one cannot be too careful. Therefore, the immortal sects have measures to prevent heavenly secrets deductions. Otherwise, if the sect's true inheritors or elders go out, and their general situation is deduced by enemy forces, wouldn't everything be in vain, even leading to interception and assassination? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1434. Alright, thank you, Qing Yi. Lu Changxing held the other's delicate hand, feeling very touched. Actually, Lu Chuanjin only needed to return to Bai Lake Mountain, and the problem wouldn't be too significant. The mysterious heaven's spiritual vine on Baiyun Peak not only gathers fortune but also shields from heavenly secrets. However, given the good intentions of the beauty, he naturally wouldn't refuse. Qing Yi, what do you plan to do next? Lu Changxing embraced the beauty and asked aloud. I came to the Jin Kingdom this time to investigate the matter of the Supreme Elder of the Yiming Ghost sect attempting to reach the nascent soul stage. Now that such a matter has arisen in the Yiming Ghost sect, they must be fully alert, and even the entire cultivation world of Jin Kingdom will be on edge, so I plan to return directly. Chu Qingyi fell silent for a moment, then sighed slightly. Her main purpose on this journey, besides her mission, was to temper her sword heart. But along the way to Jin Kingdom, she had done quite a bit of demon slaying, yet her mind was still not completely clear, and she ended up in Lu Changsheng's arms again. Especially recently, seeing Lu Changsheng's unique side, her heart was stirred, and she felt restless and confused. In such a situation, she felt there was no point in continuing to temper, and it was better to just go back. Lu Daoist, do you have anything else to do next? Chu Qingyi asked. Although she was avoiding Lu Changxing, she couldn't rest easy with him alone under the current circumstances. Thinking of staying by his side, she could look after him a bit. I still have some matters to attend to. If you're not in a hurry, we can go back together later. Lu Changxing planned to give some instructions to Nangong Mili and Meng Xiaochan before leaving Jin Kingdom. I'm not in a hurry. How is your condition right now? If you need my help with anything, just let me know. Chu Qingyi bit her red lip gently and said. In her view, Lu Changsheng's outburst just now would require at least a year or half of recovery. I'm not in any major trouble, a little rest will suffice. Lu Changxing shook his head. The 9 treasures Rui Bone, compared to other blood-burning secret techniques, as long as it's within the bearable range of the physical body, won't cause much after-effect, needing basically just 10 days to half a month of rest. The main thing is to go see Nangong Mili, otherwise, this after-effect will require at least 10 days to half a month of dual cultivation to heal. But the thought of going to see Nangong Mili now gave Lu Changxing a headache. After all, Chu Qingyi is a disciple of the righteous immortal sects. If she knew about his entanglement with the heavenly spider of the 5 poisons cult, it might lead to a bad impression. Don't push yourself. Chu Qingyi didn't believe Lu Changxing wasn't in trouble. Alright, actually my condition is quite poor. If I rely on the sun-moon samsara technique, it could alleviate it a bit, Lu Changxing whispered in her ear, his voice deep as he looked at the beauty with a cold exterior but a warm heart. Hearing this, Chu Qingyi's cheeks blushed instantly, burning hot and spreading to her ears. How could he be so inappropriate? Qing Yi, can you help me? Lu Changxing looked at her, his voice weak. Chu Qingyi, although she felt Lu Changxing did it on purpose. But she knew the sun-moon samsara technique, recognized its profound and mysterious wisdom, not only enhancing cultivation level, breaking through bottlenecks, etc., but also for, if she used this technique to assist Lu Changxing, it would indeed help him. But in this way, wouldn't she become even more tangled with him? It's nothing. Lu Changxing sighed with a hint of loneliness. After a long silence, Chu Qingyi said in a barely audible voice, just healing, what? Lu Changxing was stunned, not expecting Chu Qingyi to agree. He thought to himself that this sword immortal child was indeed a bit easy to trick. Of course, this also indicated that Chu Qingyi genuinely had feelings for him. Otherwise, why would she be willing to heal him like this? Sigh, Lu Changxing sighed inwardly, thinking that if it weren't for Xiao Siya and Yun Wanshang, his emotional journey with Chu Qingyi might have been much smoother. Thinking of this, he felt a bit troubled, unable to imagine how Chu Qingyi would react if she found out about his matters with Yun Wanshang. After all, compared to Xiao Xia, Chu Qingyi was raised by Yun Wanshang since childhood, with deeper feelings. Just healing, don't overthink. Chu Qingyi pressed her red lips, adding. Yes, I know. Lu Changxing quickly responded. However, in the current situation, it's impossible for him to perform an internal cultivation session with Chu Qingyi in the 9th Heavenly Gang Wind Layer, indicating that leaving the Yiming Ghost Sect territory was the priority. Chu Qingyi would head to the Tianyuan Lotus first, while he used a secret technique to make the golden-winged Heavenly Peng leave swiftly. Be careful, and notify me immediately if there are any issues. Chu Qingyi said, eyes full of concern. Don't worry. Lu Changxing smiled slightly. After Chu Qingyi entered the Tianyuan Lotus, he let out a long breath of turbid energy. Then, holding 2 superior-grade spirit stones, he sat cross-legged on the golden-winged Heavenly Peng, adjusting his breath, directing it to fly at full speed to the Immortal Spider Marketplace. Jiang Country, Qingyun Region. A second-rank spirit boat with a golden sheen slowly descended outside by Lake Mountain. On the flying boat, a man and a woman stood side by side. The man looked about 20 years old, with sword-like eyebrows and star-like eyes, a tall figure, wearing a white golden robe, with an impressive and extraordinary presence. The woman appeared 18 or 19 years old, with a lovely appearance, slender figure, wearing a stunning rainbow feather garment, exuding a serene and elegant temperament. Finally, we're back. Lu Qingshan looked at the Bai Lake Mountain before him and grinned. He and his sister had returned this time, and even though they traveled entirely by spiritual vessel, it was quite a hassle, taking a year. In truth, for him, the journey alone was reasonable, even allowing for leisurely sightseeing, but his sister was eager to return home. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1435. May I ask what brings the senior to our Bai Lake Mountain? The Lu family disciples stationed at the mountain gates saw the second-grade spirit boat and knew it was a foundation-building great cultivator, so they immediately cupped their hands and called out. Lu Qingshan found the disciples stationed at the mountain gates somewhat unfamiliar, slightly raised his sword-like eyebrows, tossed out his family token, and said, Lu Qingshan. Lu Qingshan. The Lu family disciples were shocked upon hearing this. One of them immediately shouted, the third-generation disciple of the Lu family, Lu Xianchan, greets Uncle Qingshan. Greetings to Uncle Qingshan. The others also quickly paid their respects. Nowadays, most of the Lu family's second-generation disciples were managing family affairs. Tasks like guarding the mountain gate had been delegated to the third-generation disciples. Oh ho! Lu Qingshan heard this title, looked at the young men and women in front of him, slightly raised his eyebrows, and looked at his sister beside him, feeling somewhat nostalgic. It had been so many years since he and his sister left home, and the third-generation disciples in the family had grown so much. Although during his last visit, there were already some third-generation Lu family disciples, he only paid attention to his brother Lu Qingsong's newly born son and didn't really focus on others. Lu Qingshan nodded without saying anything further. Then, the Lu family disciples invited Lu Qingshan and Lu Qingzhu into Bai Lake Mountain. When did the family acquire 2 more spirit veins? Upon entering Bai Lake Mountain, Lu Qingshan immediately sensed that the spiritual energy seemed much richer. Beside Baiyun Peak, there were also 2 small peaks. At a glance, he recognized them as spirit peaks. In response to Uncle Qingshan, these peaks are named Xuanfu Peak and Bailian Peak, cultivated 3 years ago. The Lu family disciple beside him immediately replied. TSK, it seems the family is doing well. Lu Qingshan clicked his tongue and said. It's not easy to cultivate a spirit peak. If it were solely nurtured by a second-grade spirit vein, it might take centuries to produce a first-grade branch vein. But if you spend spiritual origin pearls, the kind of spiritual item, it might take 10 or more, which is no small amount. Besides the two spirit peaks, he noticed that whether it was the pavilions and buildings in by Lake Mountain, or the family's spirit fields, or the spirit plants on Lingsue Cliff, they all seemed brand new, with significant changes compared to 10 years ago. 10 years may seem long. Yet for a family, it's extremely short. In just 10 years, the family changes indicate that the family has been developing well in recent years. Lu Qingzhu also glanced around at the family's situation, her clear and beautiful eyes sparkling with a faint gleam. Moments later, Lu Miaoge, Lu Miaohuan, and Lu Miaoyun arrived, looking at their children with excitement and joy. Qing Shan, little bamboo. Mother, aunt. Lu Qingzhu hugged her mother, her eyes reddened, filled with longing. Hey, mother, where is father? Aren't he back at home again? Lu Qingshan did not see his father, slightly surprised, and asked. Lu Miaoyun and Lu Miaohuan exchanged glances, indicating that Lu Changxing had gone out and might not return for a while. The two women also didn't know what to say, as it was rare for Lu Qingshan to come back. But every time he came back, Lu Changxing happened to be away from home. Could it be that I'm really incompatible with father? Lu Qingshan felt a bit speechless. He had planned to ask his father about the sword seed, to consult about the 7 luminaries' great freedom sword scripture, and also about reforging the heavenly circulation starry sword embryo. The family gathered in the Lu family mansion to catch up, and Lu Qingxian came to pay respects to his brother and sister. Lu Qingqi, on the other hand, was very mischievous and went to play in Red Leaf Valley Market, not at home. Lu Qingshan, full of spirit and energy, shared with his mother and aunt the general situation of his life over the years, to the beaming smiles of Lu Miaohuan. After all, this son was her pride. Beside him, Lu Qingzhu was much quieter, holding her mother's arm, watching her brother speak, occasionally showing concern for her brother Lu Qingxian nearby. During the conversation, Lu Qingshan also inquired about the family situation, expressing that he noticed significant changes in the family. What, big brother is about to reach 3rd rank body refining? Lu Qingshan was astonished upon hearing that his big brother's body refining had broken through to impending 3rd rank, fought against false core, and made a name for himself, and that his family had been rapidly progressing these years, being listed among the false core families. About Lu Pingan, although not very familiar, he still had an impression. In earlier years, he, along with Lu Chuanjin and Lu Pingan, met in the Purple Shadow secret realm. At that time, everyone was only at the Qi refinement stage, at the same level. How suddenly did Lu Pingan become imminent 3rd rank body refining? To know that his cultivation had been considered rapid advancement, he himself was only at the peak of the 5th layer of foundation establishment. Even though he could break through to the 6th layer at any time, compared to prospective 3rd rank body refining, the difference was considerable. Lu Qingzhu beside him was also very surprised. She had seen this big brother with Lu Qingshan when they went to White Tiger Mountain back then, and he had a generous character, quite admirable. But she never expected that this big brother was so formidable. Seeing her brother so astonished, Lu Qingzhu chuckled lightly, as it had been a long time since anyone had managed to surprise her brother like this. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1436, Lu Family Mansion. Lu Qingshan and Lu Qingzhu listened to the various events of their family over the years, feeling immensely moved. However, upon hearing of their grandfather, Lu Yuanding's, passing, their expressions turned sorrowful. They knew when they last returned that their grandfather did not have much time left and that it was likely their final meeting. Even so, they couldn't hold back their grief upon hearing the news of his death. After all, in their childhood, the two siblings were almost entirely raised by Lu Yuanding, who cherished them dearly. Later, they'll go with you to Qingzhu Mountain to pay respects to your grandfather. Lu Miaoge said gently. Yes. Lu Qingshan nodded, inquiring about the current situation on Qingzhu Mountain. Qingzhou Mountain has been doing quite well over the years. The development of Qingzhou Mountain cannot naturally compare with Bai Lake Mountain. But compared to most foundation establishment families, like Hundred Birds Lake, it is already quite good. In the early years, the newly promoted foundation establishment cultivator Lu Qinghua led some Lu family disciples to expand outward, rooted in the imperial spirit sex domain, and established a branch family. Although Lu Yuanzhong of the family is old and has retired to the background, the family has accumulated a lot of foundation over the years and can nurture new foundation establishment cultivators at any time. It's just that with Lu Muping stationed at Qingzhou Mountain and the connection with Bai Lake Mountain, the need to cultivate foundation establishment cultivators is not urgent at the moment. They're waiting for a false core seed to consider. After all, what Qingzhou Mountain needs now is to advance further, nurturing a promising Lu family disciple who might break through to the foundation establishment late stage or even false core. Simply adding one or two ordinary foundation establishments is not significant, and may even become a burden. Lu Qingshan nodded upon hearing this. Their grandfather always had the family's concerns at heart and hoped during their last conversation that he could help support them in the future. At this time, Lu Qingshan seemed to remember something and asked directly, "By the way, Aunt, is Sister Rui home?" Rui is currently in charge of the family's business affairs, often away. Why do you ask? Lu Miaoga, gentle and graceful, responded. Didn't Sister Rui give me a sword embryo before? So I prepared some things for her on this return trip. Lu Qingshan smiled as he spoke. Rui can't come back for a while. If it's not urgent, I can later find out where she is for you to give it to her in person. If it's inconvenient, you can also leave it at home, and I can have someone send it to Rui later. Lu Miaoga said gently. I'll head over later, just as well. I can see what the family's businesses are like. And I don't have much going on. I can also spend some time with little Bamboo. If there's anything at home, you can call me. Lu Qingshan said with a smile. After hearing about the family's development over the years, he knew there would be quite a bit of resistance during the process and was willing to contribute to bolstering the family's influence. All right, good. Lu Miaoga smiled softly and said, the family banquet is almost ready. After you eat, rest for a while, and later we will go to Qingzhou Mountain. Even though it's a simple welcoming feast. Both Lu Miaoga and Lu Miaoyan gathered all the Lu family disciples from Bai Lake Mountain. On one hand, the Lu family regularly organizes family banquets to let siblings meet more and strengthen their bonds. On the other hand, it's also to let Lu Qingshan and Lu Qingzhu get acquainted with other Lu family disciples. Lu Lingxiao approached and, upon seeing Lu Qingshan, his eyes slightly narrowed, and his pupils showed a faint golden glow. Although the dragon roar physique he possessed had flaws, his eyes were extraordinary, and his cultivation of pupil skills far surpassed ordinary people. Ordinary cultivators found it difficult to disguise themselves before him. He could see through them at a glance. Even some foundation establishment late-stage cultivators' aura concealment techniques were somewhat noticeable to him. At this moment, upon seeing Lu Qingshan, he immediately sensed a peerless, earth-shaking sword intent. This sword intent was astonishing. Sharp and radiant like the rising sun, unstoppable and invincible. Looking at Lu Qingshan, he felt a slight sting in his eyes. This, Lu Lingxiao was surprised. In recent years, he hadn't stayed home all the time and had seen many people. But he had never seen anyone with the sword intent momentum that Lu Qingshan possessed. Lu Qingshan, with sword heart clarity, also noticed Lu Lingxiao. Facing his eyes that shimmered with a golden glow, he raised an eyebrow. Lu Qingshan didn't have much impression of Lu Lingxiao. At this simple glance, he saw that Lu Lingxiao was indeed exceptional. In the Jinyang sect, he would at least be at the level of a core true inheritor. He couldn't help but think to himself, it seems our family's genius rate is slightly high. Lingxiao, you should have met, this is your brother Qingshan and sister Qingzhu. Lu Miaoyan immediately smiled and introduced them. Both were geniuses of the Lu family, so in her view, they should naturally become closer. I've met brother Qingshan and sister Qingzhu. Lu Lingxiao, knowing the two, slightly cupped his hands, but he didn't show much closeness. His personality was somewhat similar to his mother, Ling Zixiao, solitary and proud. Among all Lu family disciples, the person closest to him was Lu Wangshu, who was always at odds with him and more like a rival. Lu Lingxiao, Lu Qingshan repeated the name and said with a smile, "You are quite good." Lu Lingxiao detected a hint of condescension in the mild words from Lu Qingshan's smiling expression and inquired, "I heard Brother Qingshan is the first of Jinyang sect?" "Only the first among those of the same rank. It doesn't count as first of Jinyang sect," Lu Qingshan casually replied. Although he was the Qi Refinement Realm's trial sword's first, now in the Foundation Establishment middle stage, he could still slay those in the Foundation Establishment late stage. But against the other Foundation Establishment late-stage true inheritors of the Jinyang sect, he's not yet their equal, and he doesn't claim to be the first. But in his view, these were simply a matter of time. First among those of the same rank, Lu Lingxiao's golden shimmering eyes slightly narrowed, realizing the weight of such words. As one of the 5 great immortal sects in Yu country, for Lu Qingshan to be first among those of the same rank in Jinyang sect, this strength is unquestionable. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know at report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1437, I wonder if Brother Qingshan could spar with me and give me some pointers. Lu Lingxiao's face was rugged and sharp, with heroic and prominent eyebrows. He always wanted to find someone to temper himself. But among the peers in the family, Lu Pingan was not someone he could fight, Lu Wangshu was no match, and none of the others could be his opponent. Last year, during his travels with Lu Wangshu, even a Foundation Establishment middle-stage cultivator was defeated by him. Now encountering Lu Qingshan, he naturally wanted to spar with him. Later then, Lu Qingshan said with an upturned corner of his mouth. Geniuses are always proud. His brother's strength, it was estimated that there would be few rivals among the peers in the family. In such a situation, having a bit of pride was quite normal. Since that was the case, he, as the older brother, would let him broaden his horizons, to know there are always others better and skies beyond skies. Jin Kingdom. 100 miles outside the 5 Poisons cult. Lu Changxing descended from the golden-winged heavenly Pang and activated the sensing talisman with Nangong Melee. Thinking that Nangong Melee would take some time to arrive, Lu Changxing looked at the 2 rewards in his system space. Great Wilderness Dragon Spine. Lu Changxing first looked at the Great Wilderness Dragon Spine he drew earlier. This dragon bone was somewhat similar to the life-bound treasured bone of the 100 Refinements treasure body art, with very practical effects. However, to refine it, one must have 3rd-rank body refining to withstand it. Currently, in the family, only he met the refinement conditions for this Great Wilderness Dragon Spine. Forget it, let's just leave it for now. Although Lu Changxing felt this Great Wilderness Dragon Spine was good, he had no strong inclination to use it. After the battle with Ghost Bat True Master earlier, he deeply realized that what he needed now was speed and means of sealing and restraining. This Great Wilderness Dragon Spine mainly enhanced physical body strength and defense, not providing much improvement for him. Another aspect was the boundless love of a father. Such a good thing, he naturally thought of his children at home first, such as his son Lu Pingan. Lu Pingan was currently a quasi-3rd-rank body refining. If his 100 Refinements treasure body art broke through to the 9th level, refining this Great Wilderness Dragon Spine, then his combat power would directly elevate a notch. Moreover, giving it to Lu Pingan, besides the compatibility, there were a few other considerations. Lu Pingan, being his eldest son, the family's pillar, if he didn't get some help, he truthfully couldn't keep up with the growth pace of his other talented children at home. Like Lu Chuanjun, Lu Qingshan, Lu Lingxiao, and even his daughter Lu Wangshu, all had an inherent pride. In such a situation, having a generous big brother like Lu Pingan pressing down was also a good thing. However, Pingan's 100 Refinements treasure body art just broke through recently, wanting to reach the 9th level. I fear it won't be easy. Lu Changxing shook his head, planning to call Lu Pingon back after returning this time, and let him have more medicinal baths. Looking at the seed of law in the system space, son of heaven's chi observation, his mental spirit stirred. Immediately, a faint golden, thumb-sized, dragon-shaped chi-swirling light cluster appeared in his hand. This seed of law was somewhat similar to sword-charging bull's might. But it enhances talent, extends the six senses, eases disposition, refines appearance, and compensates for deficiencies. After use, not only can the cultivation talent be elevated by a level, but one also gains many insights into combat and a growing innate divine ability, the Son of Heaven's Chi observation technique. This divine ability allows observing mountain and earth veins, seeing the flaws in supernatural divine abilities and technique, and the operation of mana and chi. Upon fully integrating the seed of law, one could even perceive others' weaknesses and flaws through the divine ability, thus disrupting or influencing the operation of their mana, achieving murder in a casual manner. This is very astonishing. It is known that if the operation of supernatural divine abilities is suddenly interrupted and disrupted, it could very easily lead to a dangerous situation. This seed of law effect is quite formidable. Lu Changxing marveled in his heart. In his view, compared to the single effect sword-charging bull's might that only elevates sword Dao talent, this Son of Heaven's Chi observation has a much better effect. Not only does it enhance talent and combat experience, but learning the 100 arts of cultivation will also become twice as effective. Especially with the Son of Heaven's Chi observation technique, one could observe mountain and earth veins and the flow of nature's spiritual energy. If one learned feng shui or dragon seeking with these methods, it would be as easy as flipping one's hand. However, why do all these seeds of law have such intense side effects? Lu Changxing frowned. Like the sword-charging bull's might, integrating with this seed of law requires consonance in disposition, and one's character will be subtly influenced. Sword-charging bull's might makes one's character increasingly stubborn and unwavering, bold and diligently advancing. This Son of Heaven's Chi observation, conversely, gradually makes one dominant, with an air of self-supremacy. Even when facing a cultivator far surpassing oneself, one will remain composed and decisive, deeming them as insignificant, with a self-belief of invincibility. Thus, to integrate with this seed of law, one's disposition must be relentlessly forward-moving, having an aura of invincibility and confidence. If one's disposition is cowardly, hesitant, experiencing some failures, and becomes completely depressed, then it would conflict with this seed of law, rendering no effect, possibly even affecting oneself. Such a personality, one more likely to get themselves killed. Isn't there a seed of law more suitable for slackers? Lu Changxing shook his head secretly. If there were no influences on disposition, in his eyes, this seed of law would be very suitable for him, even quite perfect. But given the disposition requirements, he could only return to find a child who fitted the seed of law. Nevertheless, as long as the disposition matches, once integrated, its effects would not be inferior to a top-level spiritual body. After placing the seed of law back into his storage ring, Lu Changxing continued waiting for Nangong Meili. An hour and a half later, a purple escape light shot over from the direction of Five Poisons Mountain. What's the matter? Nangong Meili looked at Lu Changxing and said with an indifferent expression. She had been recuperating at the Five Poisons cult recently and was unaware of Lu Changxing's trip to the Yiming Ghost sect. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know it report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1438. Moreover, Lu Changxing had just rushed back from the Yiming Ghost sect. The news had not yet spread. Meili, don't be so cold. Lu Changxing looked at Nangong Meili in her luxurious purple dress, her face stunningly enchanting, skin as fair as snow, curves breathtaking, and smiled as he spoke. If you have something to say, speak. Nangong Meili said coldly. Although her attitude towards Lu Changxing had changed, she still did not show a pleasant expression. I made a trip to the Yiming Ghost sect. Lu Changxing said directly. The other party knew the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Once the news got out, it would be easy to guess that the Yangming true master was himself, so there was nothing to hide. Moreover, with the matter concerning daughter Nangong Yao Yao, the woman before him had softened a lot and was worth trusting. Nangong Mili's deep, mysterious Danfang eyes slightly narrowed, immediately aware that Lu Changsheng's magic aura was somewhat disturbed. "You're injured?" She frowned slightly, moving to his side. Although Lu Changsheng's combat strength was astonishing, having easily subdued Feng Wushi before, it was still quite dangerous to go to the Yiming ghost sect to demand an explanation. "It's just some heavy consumption." Lu Changsheng smiled and shook his head, then seriously said, "On this trip to the Yiming ghost sect, I resolved the Chuanjin matter, but also made things hostile with the Yiming ghost sect. Currently, the Yiming ghost sect does not know my identity, but I've been at the Heavenly Spider Market for some time, so I'm worried they might investigate you." Lu Changsheng spoke out. "No need to worry." Nangong Mili spoke directly with cold beauty in her eyes. As a nascent soul immortal of the Five Poisons cult, naturally she doesn't fear the Yiming ghost sect. Besides, since her daughter Nangong Yao Yao apprenticed under the White Lotus True Monarch, her status in the Five Poisons cult has risen significantly. Even if the Yiming ghost sect finds out about her relations with Lu Changsheng, they can't do anything to her. "I've been out for so long, I am preparing to return." Lu Changsheng looked at her stunningly enchanting face, sighed lightly, and said softly. Nangong Mili was startled. For some reason, a trace of reluctance surged in her heart. However, she still nodded with a cold and proud expression, "Okay." Pausing for a moment, she then added, "If you need to recuperate and heal, you can stay at the Five Poisons cult temporarily. The Yiming ghost sect won't come looking." With Yao Yao being taken as a disciple by the White Lotus True Monarch, even if the sect hierarch knows about your identity at the Yiming ghost sect, they won't do anything to you. Nangong Mili said, looking at Lu Changsheng. "I'm not in any major trouble, besides, with the golden peng here, it doesn't affect anything." Lu Changsheng smiled. Without his daughter's help, it's really not easy to completely melt this woman's heart. Previously, he could be a little more forceful. But now that their relationship has deepened, it's naturally impossible to act like that anymore. "Okay." Nangong Mili nodded, her beautiful and enchanting face cold and noble, very captivating. Looking at the cold Nangong Mili before him, Lu Changsheng sighed helplessly, reached out to hold her fair jade-like hand, and softly said, "Mili, would you be willing to come back to Bai Lake Mountain with me?" The distance between Jin Kingdom and Jiang Country was far, even with the golden-winged heavenly peng, it was impossible for him to come often. Moreover, Nangong Mili wanted to nurture her golden pill through him, which he naturally understood and was willing to help her nurture it, to deepen their emotional connection. But such matters require long-term effort. If he relied on occasional visits to Jin Kingdom, who knows how long it would take for Nangong Mili to advance to Golden Core. Therefore, he was willing for Nangong Mili to visit Jiang Country for a while. "I won't go." Nangong Mili refused outright. Even though she had accepted Lu Changsheng to some extent, she couldn't just go live with him as a family. Besides, with this trip to the Tianyuan secret realm and obtaining resources for her daughter Nangong Yao Yao, she could cultivate to the core formation 6th layer peak. "Once I head back, I don't know when I'll be able to come again. You're currently just barely at half-step golden core. If you want to break through to core formation late stage early, you should aim to advance to superior grade gold core sooner. That way, it'll be easier for us to visit Yao Yao." Lu Changsheng continued. "If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 1439. Nangong Mili instinctively wanted to say it's best not to see him. But upon hearing superior grade golden core, visiting her daughter, she couldn't help but be slightly stunned, lightly biting her alluring red lips. To say she didn't want to nurture her golden core was naturally impossible. After all, with her current talent and foundation, relying on herself to break through core formation late stage was still hopeful. But to break through to nascent soul was a slim hope. If with Lu Changsheng's help, she could advance to a superior grade golden core, or even an immortal golden core, then nascent soul would no longer be so distant. Moreover, advancing to a superior grade golden core would enhance her foundational potential, benefiting daily cultivation and breaking through minor bottlenecks. Meili, I'm not asking you to abandon the 5 poisons cult and come with me to Jiang country. Lu Changsheng saw Nangong Meili was somewhat moved, his gaze gentle, continuing, just that you know, nurturing the golden core takes a lot of time. I've been out for so long this time, and there are matters at home entangling me, otherwise, would have stayed with you in Jin Kingdom. Nangong Meili looked at his affectionate demeanor, even if she knew this dog man was playing his sweet-talking tricks again, still her heart trembled slightly, a little shaken. However, with a face full of stubborn cold beauty, she said, Lu Changsheng, I don't fall for your tricks. Turns out Meili, you still like your husband being a bit tougher. Lu Changsheng raised an eyebrow, looking at her enchanting and peerless face, chuckling, since Meili, you like it so, then, saying this, he pressed forward, tightly wrapping his arms around her slender waist, making her ample softness press against his chest. Nangong Meili? Get off, you, Nangong Meili was flustered and angry. But before she could finish speaking, her alluring, petal-like red lips were sealed. The familiar, oppressive, and plundering assault surged again. Nangong Meili's delicate body softened, as if paralyzing currents crawled all over her body. If it were before, she would have resisted vigorously, wanting to push Lu Changsheng away. But now she didn't know if it was because she had grown accustomed to it, knowing resistance was futile, or because she saw Lu Changsheng was injured, so she only struggled symbolically a few times, soon letting out tender, charming moans through her nose. After a long while, seeing this person taking further advantage, Nangong Meili suddenly came back to her senses, pushing him away with a blushing, angry gaze. Sweet and luscious, never getting tired of tasting. Lu Changsheng licked his lips, chuckling, feeling she was somewhat moved. It's just this woman is very proud, not easy to conquer. Lu Changsheng, for Yao Yao's sake, I'm showing some face, don't push it. Nangong Meili's purple dress was disheveled, her stunning, enchanting cheeks flushed red as rosy clouds, spreading to her earlobes, stunningly beautiful. Meili is right. Lu Changsheng said with a smile. Then he continued to embrace the alluring figure with curves forward and backward which were like a devil's temptation, saying in a low voice, Meili, all these days I haven't been able to nurture your golden core, now that I'm about to leave, let me nurture it for you once more. Nangong Meili felt this person's face was truly thick, saying nurture the golden core, was that not? Then before she could think more, Lu Changsheng kissed her alluring red lips again. He could clearly feel that Nangong Meili's resistance now was somewhat lessened, only pushing symbolically a few times. Women are just like this. If you directly tell her such things, it's easy to provoke resentment. But as long as you make up a reason, give an excuse, like my pet can flip backward, even if she knows what's going to happen, she won't be that resistant. Sometimes she might even deceive herself. Moments later, Nangong Meili's phoenix eyes were bright with a few hints of affection. Her brows and eyes revealed a vividly charming allure, really making one's heart skip a beat, hard to extricate oneself, wanting to drown in her peerless beauty. Not here, here is less than 100 miles from the 5 Poisons cult. If suddenly any cultivator passed by, the consequences would be unimaginable. Lu Changsheng heard this, then immediately sought a temporary cave with Nangong Meili, setting up a formation. Doesn't this dog man have a cave heaven treasure? Nangong Meili knew that Lu Changsheng possessed a cave heaven treasure, the two of them could clearly use it, but now, his choice was such a cave, could it be another deliberate act to belittle her? This dog of a man. Nangong Meili cursed in her heart. But at this moment, given the circumstances, she didn't say anything, subconsciously avoiding Lu Changsheng's gaze, biting her juicy red lips tightly. Moments later, spring spread within the cave. Afterward. Lu Changsheng looked at the limp and unmoving Nangong Meili on the dark golden tiger skin carpet. This 5 Poisons cult's heavenly spider envoy, the renowned heavenly spider true man from Jin Kingdom, now had her jade face flushed like vibrant clouds, exhaling fragrant breaths with a gentle pant. Her elongated, clear phoenix eyes half open, half closed, were flowing with a charming allure. Her stunning face like a poppy flower core, enchantingly captivating, breathtakingly beautiful. Face, black hair, fragrant neck, and collarbones were all dotted with fine sweat beads, making the semi-transparent purple gauze dress cling to the alluring, seductive, flawlessly curvy body, exuding a soul-captivating lethal allure. Meili, are you sure you don't want to consider coming to stay with me for a while in Jiang country? Lu Changxing lay beside her, lightly patting the snow-white grinding wheel, speaking softly. Although he knew Nangong Meili was unlikely to return with him, he still wished to nurture her golden core. Mainly because he still had time now. Once Xiao Xia, Lu Miaoge, and others gradually break through core formation, the yin-yang energies would not be enough. Nangong Meili's enchanting phoenix eyes drooped slightly, her voice trembling softly, "No. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report, so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 1440. This scoundrel of a man is always tormenting himself these days. If he goes to the Jiang country, who knows how he's going to torment himself there. Even though she's not against Lu Changxing, and wants to use him to nurture her superior grade gold core, she can't set aside her dignity. All right. Lu Changxing smiled gently and said with a tender voice, "If you need anything, feel free to find me at Bai Lake Mountain. I will also visit you when I have the time." Although he had invited Nangong Meili to return to Bai Lake Mountain with him, he was worried she might really agree. What if Nangong Meili and Chu Qingyi met and ended up fighting? Nangong Meili responded as calmly as possible. But at this moment, her voice was indescribably coquettish and alluring, making Lu Changxing feel a surge of emotion for the beauty before him again. However, she had already been tormented by him for a long time and was unable to move, so it wasn't good to continue tormenting her. He simply embraced the beauty before him quietly, savoring the rare tranquility. Nangong Meili, embraced by Lu Changxing, felt a sudden surge of an inexplicable sense of security in her heart. It seemed like an unprecedented feeling of safety. After a while, once she regained some strength, Nangong Meili wanted to get up and push Lu Changxing away. But she didn't know why. She suddenly didn't want to disrupt this long-lost peace. Just like that, time slowly passed. The two quietly embraced each other. Nangong Meili slightly raised her delicate head, looking at Lu Changxing's handsome face. Suddenly, she felt that this scoundrel might not be as heartlessly romantic. If their daughter didn't go to the Immortal Lotus sect, a family of 3 wouldn't be too bad. However, moments later, Nangong Meili noticed Lu Changxing starting to be cheeky again. She immediately snorted coldly, slapped his hand away, stood up, and slipped into a resplendent purple gown. Meili's beauty truly makes this husband lose control. Lu Changxing, unabashed, gazed at the beauty before him with admiration in his eyes. "Lu Changxing, stop your sweet talking." Nangong Meili snorted coldly, but her heart swelled with a mix of sweetness and a hint of pride. This scoundrel has many wives and concubines, blessed with divine talent, yet he is utterly obsessed with her. But thinking that this scoundrel's affection seems directed at her body, she felt a bit annoyed. "I am sincere." Lu Changxing laughed and didn't mind her attitude. Women, they like to say one thing when they mean another. "Meili, I have something for you to see if you can refine and control it." Lu Changxing pondered slightly. Nangong Meili responded with surprise, curiosity, and a hint of delight. Is this scoundrel going to give her a gift? Whoosh whoosh whoosh, Lu Changxing flicked his finger, and a black corpse bag beside him suddenly opened, unleashing a strong yin wind. A head appeared, its face black and rigid, eyes as dark as ink with no whites, hair messy, and features terrifying. Nangong Meili recognized at once that this was some extraordinarily sinister corpse refinement, her flawless face filled with astonishment as she looked at Lu Changxing. She didn't know why he had such a demonic path corpse refinement artifact. Although she didn't practice corpse refinement, the Five Poisons cult and the Heavenly Corpse sect had connections, so she knew a bit. Knowing the more powerful the corpse refinement, the greater the price of its creation. The refinement corpse before her seemed incomplete, merely a head. But the eerie and chilling face with its two black vortex-like pupils, resembling black holes, had an enchanting allure. Even at first glance, she was somewhat affected. If an ordinary nascent soul cultivator faced this refinement corpse, they might directly fall under its influence, getting lost within. This is a corpse refinement I acquired in my early years, named Endless Guileful Head, Lu Changxing spoke, introducing the Endless Guileful Head to Nangong Meili. Earlier, due to the disturbance from old demon Jin Tian, he realized Nangong Meili's combat abilities were lacking. In the middle stage of core formation, she might not be the weakest, but she was just mediocre. Falling short to honor the title of Heavenly Spider Envoy of the Five Poisons cult. Hence, he considered offering the Endless Guileful Head to Nangong Meili. On one hand, this Endless Guileful Head doesn't have much effect with his current battle strength, and it's not convenient to use it in Jiang country. On the other hand, Nangong Meili's methods are quite compatible with this Endless Guileful Head. As a Gu cultivator, when she battles others, she either resorts to ambushes or uses serpent poison over a long-term confrontation to find an opening. If she possesses the Endless Guileful Head, she can use the Endless Ghost Domain to interfere and affect opponents, thus better seizing opportunities. Furthermore, the Endless Guileful Head can refine other creatures into ghost slaves. Although these ghost slaves lack the divine skills and battle strength they had before death, they are fearless and difficult to deal with due to their brute bodies. With the current Dark Demon corpse, if she can refine the Jintian Old Demon into a ghost slave, encountering nascent soul cultivators like Jintian Old Demon would be without fear. Endless Guileful Head, Nangong Meili realized after Lu Changsheng's introduction that this Endless Guileful Head was even more formidable than she imagined. Its divine skills are mysterious and can easily interfere with core formation initial stage cultivators, while forming a ghost domain. Within the ghost domain, any creature will be eroded and gradually refined into a ghost slave. In the ghost domain, fighting opponents essentially places one in an unbeatable position. You plan to give me this refined corpse? Although gifting such a refined corpse is quite unromantic between men and women. But cultivators don't concern themselves with these things, especially demonic path cultivators. To Nangong Meili, this refined corpse is incredibly precious. If Lu Changxing offered it to the Heavenly Corpse sect, they may pay a hefty price to purchase it. Yet he is willing to give it directly to her. Yes, if you can refine this Endless Guileful Head, it can provide you with more self-preservation strength. Lu Changxing said with a smile. Accept it, otherwise I won't be at ease with you. Seeing Nangong Meili's expression of slight hesitation, Lu Changxing gently held her white jade-like hand and spoke softly. Nangong Meili's heart trembled, rising with an inexplicable feeling. With this Endless Guileful Head, you can later refine Jintian Old Demon into a ghost slave. In this way, as long as you don't encounter late-stage core formation cultivators, you will remain unafraid, and I will be much more assured. Lu Changxing continued. Nangong Meili looked at Lu Changxing, who was handsome and elegant, with a body like an exiled immortal on earth, and her jade face showed a momentary daze. This treacherous man, supposedly a righteous cultivator, usually follows the righteous path, yet possesses such a terrifying refined corpse. Moreover, he speaks calmly of refining Jintian Old Demon into a ghost slave. Seeing this, perhaps this treacherous man isn't so. This treacherous man isn't a good person. Yet his demeanor oddly soothed Nangong Meili's heart, causing her to smile beautifully and say, "All right." Lu Changxing saw this woman smile at him for the first time, truly worthy of the captivating radiance. He then captured her rose-petal-like lovely vermilion lips as if in a storm, tasting sweetness, seemingly wanting to consume the beauty entirely. Nangong Meili's alluring body trembled, instinctively pushing him away lightly. But as time passed, her jade arms gradually embraced the man's shoulders. At that moment, the cave presented an inexplicable and eerie scene. A young man, tall and handsome like an immortal, embracing a stunningly beautiful woman, the scene was as picturesque as a painting. Yet beside them, a black frightening head dangled with disheveled hair dancing wildly, stirring gusts of wind. After a long time of entanglement, Lu Changxing began to help Nangong Mili refine and master this endless guileful head. Although gifted to her, controlling such a refined corpse is no easy task. One careless move might result in backlash. Fortunately, Nangong Mili has core formation cultivation, allowing her to barely control it. It'll go back for a while. After attempting the refinement, Nangong Mili spoke. To ensure safety, she prepared to return to the Five Poisons cult briefly to acquire some goo insects to assist her in controlling this endless guileful head. Otherwise, while she can control this endless guileful head now, once it refines a few more ghost slaves, it might affect her. All right. Lu Changxing nodded, not concerned. Though he intended to return, having the golden-winged heavenly peng, he was not in a hurry. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know it report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1441, By Lake Mountain. By Yun Peak, Back Mountain. Today Lu Lingxiao and Lu Qingshan are preparing for a sparring match. Although it's just a regular spar between brothers, the opportunity is rare. So, Lu Miaoyun called all the Lu family disciples at the late stage of qi refinement to watch the battle. This kind of combat can not only broaden their horizons, it can also motivate them to know there are always higher mountains to climb. Over the years, Bai Lake Mountain has developed rapidly. The surrounding family forces all regard the Lu family as the leader, leading to some Lu family disciples developing a bit of arrogance. Even though the Lu family pays great attention to this aspect, many things still need more experience. Teaching alone is not enough. I wonder how many rounds Lingxiao can last against Brother Qingshan. I heard Brother Qingshan was invincible among his peers at the Wenjian sect back in the day, truly amazing. It's a pity that Brother Qingshan didn't join the Heavenly Sword sect, otherwise, families like the Jin family and the Sima family wouldn't dare oppose our Lu family. These Lu family disciples looked at the two tall, spirited young men not far away and whispered among themselves. Although Lu Lingxiao has impressive combat strength, his reputation is overshadowed by Lu Pingan and Lu Wangshu. Even the Lu family disciples only know that this older brother and younger brother have exceptional talent and extraordinary strength, but not the details. Of course, even if they knew, they wouldn't think he is a match for Lu Qingshan. At this moment, Ling Zixiao arrived at the back mountain. She knows her son has outstanding talent, possessing part of the dragon roar physique, and under Hong Lian's guidance, his strength is not inferior to the core true inheritors of the immortal sects. But she is also well aware of Lu Qingshan's achievements. Not only did he rank first in the Jinyang sect sword trial, directly promoted to true inheritor, becoming a nascent soul seed. Back then, he also defeated his peers at the Heavenly Sword sect in the sword trial. So she wanted to see the gap between her son and such top-tier talents. Beside her was a figure dressed in a luxurious red dress embroidered with gold edges, wearing a beaded crown, with a face enveloped in crystal mist, appearance indistinct, yet displaying unrivaled grace. Peach God. Lu Miaoge and Lu Miaoyun, Lu Miaohuan, and others immediately called out when they saw this figure. After reshaping her physical body and stabilizing her Dao foundation, Hong Lian abandoned her original Dao name and took the name Peachwood Spirit Womb, calling herself Peach God. This was partly because, in the cultivation world, there's a notion that a Dao name can influence a cultivator's fate and destiny in a mysterious way. Also, the events surrounding her previous demise were too mysterious and bizarre, and she worried that using her original Dao name might bring trouble when traveling outside in the future. Miaoge, Miaoyun. Although Hong Lian's face and body were shrouded in a layer of mist, it was clear she still exuded an ethereal beauty and grace, her eyes like newly blooming peach blossoms, exuding saintliness and nobility. Mother, Master. Greetings to Aunt. Greetings to Senior Peach God. Lu Lingxiao and other Lu family disciples also cupped their hands and bowed. Qing Shan, this is Senior Peach God, our family's Dharma transmission, and also Lingxiao's master. At this point, Lu Miaoge introduced to Lu Qingshan. Most of the elder positions in the Lu family, along with their duties, are held and managed by the Lu family disciples. But above these, Lu Changxing established 4 independent positions: Inspector, Law Enforcer, Internal Affairs, and Dharma Transmission. Held respectively by Lu Miaoge, Ling Zixiao, Lu Miaoyun, and Hong Lian. These 4 positions usually do not interfere with family affairs. But in Lu Changsheng's absence, they have the authority to decide on family matters. Roles like Inspector and Law Enforcer, held by Lu Miaoge and Ling Zixiao, directly have law enforcement powers. Lu Qingshan looked at Hong Lian before him, his sword-like eyes slightly narrowed. As a sword cultivator, his spiritual sense was extremely sensitive. But he couldn't detect any qi mechanism from this senior peach god before him. As if she was just a simple woman. Yet, her flowing black hair and mysterious demeanor, pure and unstained, akin to one not belonging to this world, ethereal and transcendent, clearly could not be an ordinary woman. Greetings to Senior Peach God. Lu Qingshan immediately cupped his hands and bowed. But internally, he couldn't help but think, wondering where his father found this family Dharma transmission. Even his own master and several core formation elders in the sect didn't possess such extraordinary temperament. Could this Senior Peach God before him actually be a nascent soul immortal? Hong Lian nodded with a smile. Despite an indescribable gracefulness and nobility in her demeanor, she also conveyed a feeling of spring warmth and floral fragrance. Since everyone is almost here, let's start. Lu Miaoge glanced at Lu Miaoyun and gently spoke. Beside her, Ling Zixiao lightly nodded. A compass appeared in her hand, activating the array patterns in the back mountain. Originally, this place could only withstand regular sparring by Foundation establishment cultivators. But as Lu family disciples gradually broke through Foundation establishment, many areas of Bai Lake Mountain were rebuilt. For instance, the array patterns were recarved on the back mountain, connecting to the Great Formation of Baiyun Peak. Once the formation operates at full power, unless a nascent soul cultivator takes action, it can withstand anything. It's finally starting. Seeing the situation, these Lu family disciples immediately cleared an open space, eyes full of expectation. Go, brother. Seeing this, Lu Lingyi clenched her little fists and waved them vigorously, cheering for her brother. Which brother are you cheering for? Lu Qingshan turned his head to look at Lu Lingyi, a faint smile on his face as he spoke. Ah. Stunned, Lu Lingyi then loudly said, both brothers, go. Go, brother. Seeing this, Lu Qingxi beside Lu Qingzhu also immediately shouted, then added, both brothers, go. Ha ha ha. Lu Qingshan laughed, thinking how interesting it was to have so many sisters at home. If little Bamboo often spent time with these sisters, she probably wouldn't be bored and might even become more lively. Then he walked to the center of the open ground, looked at Lu Lingxiao before him, and a confident yet gentle smile appeared on his lips. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1442, Qing Shan, please guide me. Lu Lingxiao, dressed in a black robe with gold-edged red embroidery, stood tall like a mountain, steady and powerful. His heroic face was chiseled with sharp lines, his eyes opening and closing with strands of golden light flowing, drawing countless gazes. As his words fell, his body ignited with a black flame filled with an aura of decay and destruction. This flame blazed fiercely, with strands of golden light flowing, extremely domineering, raising a heat wave that swiftly increased the surrounding temperature. Is this Lingxiao's strength? I heard this is a very domineering heavenly spiritual fire. Even through the array patterns, the Lu family disciples in the field could feel the scorching heat wave, surprised in their hearts. Such domineering flames, if my iron fire ants encounter this fire, I'm afraid they'll be directly burned, right? In the crowd, Lu Qinsha watched the blazing flames on Lu Lingxiu's body, pondering silently, a few ants with black metallic luster appearing in his palm. Iron fire ants like to live in scorching areas. Yet at this moment, they showed a bit of fear towards this flame. Lu Qingshan raised his sword-like brows, still looking relaxed and indifferent, said, "Make your move." Lu Lingxiao didn't ask why Lu Qingshan hadn't drawn his sword, he made his move directly. Caw! He lightly raised his palm and struck forward suddenly, sending a black firebird toward Lu Qingshan. Buzz buzz buzz. During this process, Lu Lingxiu's hands swiftly formed a gesture, and this black firebird burned, emitting golden light, gradually turning crimson, like a vermilion bird firebird. Not bad. Lu Qingshan flicked a finger, using sharp sword qi to directly break apart the firebird, shocking the nearby Lu family disciples. They could see that Lu Lingxiu's vermilion bird firebird was extraordinary, yet it was broken just like that by Lu Qingshan. Even if the two had several levels of cultivation difference, it shouldn't be like this, right? Brother. Lu Qingzhu looked at her brother, signaled him to be more serious. Sparring with his junior brother, with so many people watching, yet he still showed such a relaxed demeanor, didn't he know it would hurt one's self-esteem? Caw. 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 But at this moment, Lu Lingxiu's hands continuously formed gestures, a fiery red bead appeared before his eyes, and 4 vermilion bird firebirds continued to attack Lu Qingshan. And these 4 vermilion bird firebirds, under Lu Lingxiu's seal, burnt fiercely, forming an invisible formation. Sizzle sizzle sizzle. However, Lu Qingshan stood tall, still without pressure, waved his hand, and sharp sword qi like dragons and serpents burst through the air, slicing the flames into chaos, disrupting the qi mechanism. Little scorching flame formation. Confronted with the chaotic flames, Lu Lingxiao kept calm, his hand seal changed suddenly, the red bead before him hummed, unleashing a formless red sheen. In an instant, the 4 vermilion bird firebirds seemingly reborn from flames, formed into 4 phases, enveloping Lu Qingshan, filled with dazzling and brilliant fiery light. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At the same time, a flaming red fan appeared above Lu Lingxiu's head, fanning fiercely toward Lu Qingshan, elevating the flames to a higher level, forming a sea of fire. The cultivators in the field, seeing this scene, couldn't help but be startled, wondering if this was a bit too much for sparring. Next to Ling Zixiao and Lu Miaohuan, seeing this scene, looked a bit worried. No worries. Hong Lian softly said. She came over to act as a mediator, to prevent both from failing to rein themselves in. Very impressive. A hearty laugh was heard from within the blazing flames. Boom! The sea of fire formed by the 4 vermilion bird firebirds was directly broken apart by Lu Qingshan. His figure stood tall, holding a green gold law sword, surrounded by a fierce and ethereal sword qi, and his white golden robe fluttered loudly, extinguishing the flames. Lu Lingxiao realized, relying solely on these means, he was not a match for this brother. Immediately, golden light flowed from his eyes, his palms slapped his dantian. Boom! His body surged with immense mana, the dragon roar origin was activated, as if a dragon's roar echoed. Golden light spread from his qi ocean core, and then a dark gold treasure tree with burning fire vines appeared before him, faintly visible. What is this? Gasp, such an amazing aura. The Lu family disciples looked at this golden tree, their expressions full of doubt and suspicion. Is this the golden fire vine tree? Lu Yun looked at this small tree, his expression slightly surprised. Back then, his father gave him the chance to cultivate the heavenly longevity technique, offering 3 heaven and earth spiritual plants to choose from, among them was this dark gold treasure tree. Elder Tao, is it okay for Xiao to use this tree that has just been refined and is still nurturing? Ling Zixiao softly asked Hong Lian beside her. This dark gold treasure tree was exactly the golden fire vine tree of Lu Changxing. Now refined into a magical treasure embryo by Hong Lian, it was given for Lu Lingxiao to use. But it was only recently refined and still in the nurturing stage. As long as it doesn't break, it should be fine. Hong Lian's voice was gentle. Hearing this, Ling Zixiao immediately felt relieved. Oh, so you're this sharp, little brother. Lu Qingshan watched this scene, with a light lift of his brows. A serious expression gradually appeared on his face. Boom! Lu Lingxiao reached out and grasped, and the golden fire vine tree swayed, shrunk to only a foot long, fell into his hand, and then swept toward Lu Qingshan. At the same time, his body surged with dark golden flames, a mighty momentum, forming a sea of fire, as if to drown everything. Sizzle! Lu Qingshan released a sword chi through the air, first shattering the sea of fire. The spark scattered and vanished into the void, and then the sword chi headed straight to fight Lu Lingxiao. Boom! The golden fire vine tree swept out, emitting boundless golden light, directly shattering the sword chi, killing toward Lu Qingshan. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know it report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1443, Lu Lingxiao cultivated the 100 Refinements Treasure Body Art, achieving a second-rank body refining. Knowing his flame couldn't easily break through Lu Qingshan's sword chi, he directly wielded the golden small tree to engage Lu Qingshan in close combat. Not bad at all. Lu Qingshan's law sword trembled in his hand, the sword chi sharp, as he clashed head-on with Lu Lingxiao, expressing his praise. If he had just broken through Foundation Establishment not long ago, at the Foundation Establishment's second level, it might have been pressuring. But with his current cultivation level, even if he suppressed his realm, he still had the advantage. Moreover, his seed of law sword charging bulls might have been continuously integrating over the years, making his sword chi increasingly fierce and sharp. Boom boom boom, the two exchanged blows ceaselessly, neither giving an inch. The golden small tree clashed continuously with the green gold law sword, endless flames spread but were disrupted by the sword chi into disarray. So Lingxiao's strength is this formidable. I watched Sister Wangshu's battle at the Red Leaf Valley Market before, and it seems Lingxiao's strength is no less than Foundation Establishment middle stage. I wonder between Wangshu and Brother Qingshan, who's stronger? The Lu family disciples present watched the battle, all extremely astonished. All of them had cultivated exquisite level cultivation techniques, more powerful than cultivators of other families by a margin. Yet compared to Lu Lingxiao and Lu Qingshan, they were simply outmatched. Lu Yun watched this scene, eyes filled with longing and admiration. Though he had mastered the heavenly longevity technique, with hopes of core formation in the future. But who wouldn't aspire to be like Lu Lingxiao and Lu Qingshan, unmatched in combat, making a name for themselves? Unknowingly, Qingshan has grown to such a degree. Lu Miaoge, Lu Miaohuan, and Lu Miaoyun looked at Lu Qingshan's battle prowess, also somewhat surprised and reflective. Even if they knew this son was very powerful, they hadn't seen it much. Now as he faced off against Lu Lingxiao, displaying astonishing combat power, even Lu Miaoge might not be able to suppress him. This child's sword chi, Hong Lian saw Lu Qingshan's sword chi, her beautiful eyes sparkling, her expression slightly moved. This sword chi, not only sharp and fierce, seemed to carry a chi mechanism capable of destroying all laws. Completely unlike something achieved by cultivating techniques. Yet she heard, the Lu Qingshan before her was just a 6th grade spiritual root, the spiritual body being just a Gingjin spirit body. Even if the spiritual body, cultivation technique, and mental spirit were extremely compatible, with opportunities, the sword chi would still be hard to condense to such sharpness. Even this sword chi was on par with the sword Dao seed she had seen early in life with the supreme sword bone. It seems this child has great opportunities, not an ordinary person. Hong Lian mused inwardly. In such a situation, unless Lu Lingxiao nurtures the golden fire vine tree, this magical treasure embryo, to great success, then only at the same realm could he hope to defeat the opponent. Otherwise, he is absolutely not a match for Lu Qingshan. Moreover, she could see that the Lu Qingshan before her hadn't yet fought earnestly. The opponent's fighting style probably involved more than just one flying sword, there were many killer moves. Only this much, your edge isn't enough yet, little brother. After over 10 rounds of exchanges, Lu Qingshan's lips lifted, laughing brightly. Boom boom boom, rolling sword Dao thunder sounded, captivating one's mental spirit. Then, one after another, stout sword chi emerged, like dragons and serpents, fierce and domineering, devouring and dispersing the sea of fire. In addition, waves of sword light surged, like terrifying waves, like a vast sea flooding, unleashing countless sword chi. Threads of sword chi coiled around Lu Lingxiao, with a sharp edge, spreading a daunting chi mechanism. Even Lu Lingxiao, with a second-rank physical body, felt a deep chill from these piercing sword chi. I lost. Lu Lingxiao took a deep breath, admitting defeat candidly. Failure isn't shameful. The dreadful thing is failing to recognize oneself and feeling defeated in spirit. Through this battle, he realized his combat methods were too simplistic and crude, many areas he didn't perform well. Lu Qingshan's mastery and application of sword chi were amazingly more exquisite than his. To surpass this brother, he had a long way to go. Already very good, at your age, I wasn't much stronger than you. Lu Qingshan twirled his sword skillfully, patting him on the shoulder with a relaxed expression. At least through this battle, this younger brother deserves his respect and serious attention. Brother Qingshan, were you going all out with that last sword? Lu Lingxiao, after a moment's silence, asked. We were merely sparring as brothers, why would I go all out, that would only hurt you. Lu Qingshan laughed openly. Brother. Not far away, Lu Qingzhu immediately stepped forward, giving her brother a small glare. Lingxiao had just lost, and you're saying you weren't serious at all, completely oblivious to people's feelings. Lingxiao, that's just how brother is, don't mind him, actually your strength in the immortal sex is enough to surpass most, rare are equals at the same stage. Lu Qingzhu's voice was gentle and clear, very pleasing to the ear. Sister Qingzhu, fine, brother Qingshan not going all out shows I still have many shortcomings to improve. Lu Lingxiao's face was resolute, speaking directly, needing no comfort. Had he been easily discouraged, he would have already been beaten down by Lu Wangshu. There are always others better, no matter how you compare to Lu's cultivators, other clan cultivators, when facing disciples from immortal sects, or true geniuses, you're still far from enough, so never become arrogant. At this moment, Lu Miaoyan addressed the other Lu family disciples, speaking out. The family can only provide you with a relatively equal opportunity. But those gifted can rely on talent, while the average must depend on diligence, focus, and dedication. With equal opportunity, those who strive advance, those who neglect fall behind, so no matter what, always keep a heart of reverence, ambition, and humility. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1444, Lu Miaoga also spoke, her gentle voice carrying a touch of subtle authority. Thank you, Aunt, for your guidance. We understand. The Lu family disciples, aware of the purpose of being called to observe the battle today, bowed respectfully. Today's battle between Lu Lingxiao and Lu Qingshan indeed left them deeply shocked. They realized the gap between ordinary people and geniuses. And between geniuses, there is yet another gap. You can all exchange ideas frequently among yourselves. Lu Miaoga and Lu Miaoyan did not say much. They glanced at Lu Qingshan and Lu Lingxiao, then left with Ling Zixiao, Lu Miaohuan, Hong Lian, and others. The remaining Lu family disciples engaged in discussions among themselves. Wow, brother, you're amazing. Lu Qingqi, dressed in a white dress, with delicate features, approached Lu Qingshan, her face full of admiration. Though she rarely saw this brother, she had heard about him countless times from her mother and grandfather, which fostered her deep admiration. Especially after the recent battle, she felt her brother perfectly embodied the image of a sword cultivator in her heart, her eyes sparkling like stars. Haha, you just realized. Lu Qingshan pinched his sister's cheek. Though he felt indifferent towards most of his family's siblings, he had a natural affection for this full-blooded sister. After all, Lu Qingqi was naturally friendly. Brother, do you think I have the talent to learn swordsmanship? Lu Qingqi asked, tilting her head up. From an early age, after seeing her sister Lu Wangshu excel in the talisman path, she developed a desire to learn talisman making, yet she couldn't master it. She even sought guidance from Aunt Lu Miaoga for over half a month, ultimately resorting to using her father's third-rank talisman brush to attempt drawing substandard talismans, accepting her lack of talent in the talisman path. It wasn't due to the talisman brush, talisman paper, or talismanic inheritance of the family being inadequate. Xiao Qi, you are clearly a once-in-lifetime talent in Sword Dao, but cultivating in Sword Dao is arduous. There's no need to pursue it. Just enjoy life happily every day. Lu Qingshan glanced at the girl and then patted her head. Humph. Lu Qingqi understood what the words meant. In the 100 arts of cultivation, numerous techniques require a calm heart and mind for study and learning. Sister, if you truly wish to have a calm heart, you can naturally enter the path. At that moment, Lu Qingxian, dressed in a green robe, handsome as a gentle gentleman, spoke softly from beside her. Although they were siblings, their ages were similar, often like brother and sister. Qingxian, have you practiced the 100 arts of cultivation? Lu Qingshan looked at this brother and asked. Lu Qingxian was a son of Aunt Lu Miaoga, and naturally, he showed affection for him due to her. Moreover, this brother seemed different from the younger sister Lu Qingqi, who seemed not yet fully matured. I have an understanding of pill, matrix, talisman, and artifact but have not delved deeply into them. Lu Qingxian shook his head and said. The 100 arts of cultivation is very time-consuming and can only be pursued as a dual cultivation. However, his father advised him to spend more time on refining the mental spirit, so he did not choose to pursue the 100 arts of cultivation. Just recently, the family acquired a divination inheritance, and he suddenly became interested, wanting to see if he could comprehend it. In the 100 arts of cultivation, if there's no interest, cultivating or not doesn't really matter. Lu Qingshan said with a smile. The Jinyang sect is similar to the Qingyun sect. Core true inheritors need not learn the 100 arts of cultivation unless they have a personal interest. However, as their cultivation level advances, many people encounter bottlenecks and gradually explore the 100 arts. Brother Qingshan, are you familiar with the path of divination? Lu Qingxian asked. Diviner? Lu Qingshan was somewhat surprised. He naturally knew about divination. For someone like him, a nascent soul seed, the sect might even use a soul lamp to help confuse heavenly secrets. However, this path is very mysterious. Even though the Jinyang sect has diviners, they are rarely accessible. It's not like pill, matrix, talisman, and artifact, which can directly be exchanged for inheritance within the sect. The path of divination inheritance is rare and has a high threshold. But understanding a bit of it is enough. Even with the inheritance, it's best not to practice it. Lu Qingshan said thus. The path of divination not only has rare inheritance and is difficult to cultivate. Upon success, it often leads to a reduction in lifespan and fortune. He once saw a diviner in the Jinyang sect. Although being at the foundation establishment peak, at just 150 years old, he already looked frail, hunchbacked, and extremely aged. Brother Qingshan, I understand, I was just asking casually. Lu Qingxian nodded slightly and said. Hey, is divination inheritance that rare? Didn't you have some book about fortune and calculations before, brother? At this moment, Lu Qingqi tilted her head and said. Qingxian, you have a divination inheritance? Lu Qingshan immediately raised an eyebrow, looking directly at him. Such a gaze even made Lu Qingxian feel like he was being seen through, and he said softly, Father brought back a book before, so I got interested and flipped through it during my free time. Father brought back a book? Lu Qingshan was surprised. It should be known that divination inheritance is extremely rare. Even now, it's hard for him to come into contact with it. Yet, their family actually has such an inheritance. But thinking of his own, 7 luminaries' great freedom sword scripture, his eldest brother, the senior Taoshan from earlier, and Lu Lingxiao, having a book on divination seemed normal. It's fine to just take a look and understand it, don't spend too much effort and get deeply involved. Lu Qingshan nodded and continued to advise. Although it is said that once you enter the art of divination, as long as you don't use it, you won't shorten your lifespan or luck. But with such means, can a few people resist using it? If they vaguely sense a chance, crisis, or that their close family or clan might be in danger, can they not use it? Moreover, he heard before that if one cultivates divination wrongly, they might easily get lost in it and become insane. Brother Qingshan, I understand. Lu Qingxian smiled and nodded, indicating he wouldn't act recklessly. Taoshan, what do you think is the strength difference between Wangshu and Qingshan? In the Mount Sumeru cave heaven, Lu Miaoge looked at Hong Lian and asked softly. I haven't seen the two go all out, the victory should be 60-40. Hong Lian spoke. 60-40? The few women were somewhat surprised upon hearing this. Wangshu, as a talisman cultivator, has a variety of third-rank talismans, and as long as she sets up a talisman formation, even Qingshan would find it difficult to break through. But Qingshan's sword qi is sharp, carrying an intent of obliterating all techniques. If Wangshu's talisman formation has any flaw and is broken, it would be very dangerous. Thus, a true clash between them is hard to predict. Hong Lian said as such. Today, Lu Qingshan's performance was beyond her expectations, somewhat surprising her at the quality of Lu Changsheng's offspring. Lu Miaoge shook her head slightly at the words, saying nothing more. She had previously heard from her daughter, Lu Qingzhu, about some matters concerning Lu Qingshan. She knew this son had developed a proud and arrogant character. Today's battle also revealed some of his temperament. So she thought of letting Wangshu practice with Qingshan to see if it could temper Lu Qingshan's character. But hearing Hong Lian's analysis, she knew that without relying on external items, Lu Wangshu might not be a match for Lu Qingshan. However, in practice, it's certainly not possible to suppress someone with just talismans. Miaoge, if you want to temper Qingshan's character, let Pingan practice with him. Although Pingan is much older than Qingshan, it's not significant for foundation establishment cultivators, especially since they have been cultivating for about the same time. Ling Zixiao saw through Lu Miaoge's intentions and said with a slight smile. With Pingan's body refinement, it's a bit unfair to Qingshan. Beside them, Lu Miaohuan immediately said. In her view, her son, as a top-level genius, having some arrogance is normal, isn't it? Which genius isn't arrogant? Besides, hasn't her son's performance been pretty good? Where's the arrogance? Adding it all up, it seems Pingan has the highest talent. At this moment, Lu Miaoyun suddenly pursed her lips and smiled. Lu Qingshan was already considered a top-level genius. But if truly calculated, Lu Pingan is even more freakish than Lu Qingshan. Upon hearing this, the few women also realized that Lu Pingan, who had always been taught and nurtured by their husband, seemed ordinary yet was extremely extraordinary. In the future, Ling Xiao might be able to match Qingshan. At this point, Hong Lian spoke lightly and elegantly. In her view, although Lu Qingshan is formidable, Lu Lingxiao has many shortcomings now. Once those are filled, the overall strength could progress further, and it might not be impossible to match Lu Qingshan. Nonetheless, Lu Qingshan's growth speed is also quite astounding. Especially his amazingly fierce and domineering sword intent. Even Hong Lian couldn't precisely determine what fortunes he had obtained and what heights he would reach in the future. If the two keep differing by a small realm, Lu Lingxiao might find it hard to win against Lu Qingshan. As they conversed, they also started talking about other children in the family. For instance, which of the family disciples could achieve foundation establishment with good talent was known in detail to them. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1445, Gene Kingdom, Immortal Spider Marketplace. Chu Changtian, Yang Ming True Master. That day, Meng Xiaochan saw a piece of news. A core formation cultivator went to blockade the Yiming Ghost sect, his battle prowess fierce, suppressing Elder Scarlet Bone Ghost Princess and Ghost Shadow True Master of the Yiming Ghost sect. Even the Great Elder, Ghost Bat True Master, was heavily injured under this person's hands. The reason was that Chu Changtian, who had been wanted by Ghost Demon True Master in his early years, was the son of this person. Not long ago, Ghost Demon True Master shamelessly bullied the young, half-crippling Chu Changtian, so this Yang Ming True Master went to the Yiming Ghost sect to demand an explanation. This, Meng Xiaochan was stunned at the news, somewhat bewildered. What kind of trick is this? She naturally knew about Chu Changtian, the son of her beloved, Lu Chuanjin. A month ago, he was recuperating here at the Immortal Spider Marketplace. How could it be that? Could this Yang Ming True Master be Lu Lang? Meng Xiaochan immediately realized what happened. Previously, Lu Changxing said he was taking Lu Chuanjin out to resolve physical issues, meaning he went to the Yiming Ghost sect to demand an explanation. This, Meng Xiaochan felt as if in a dream, her whole being in a trance, as if dreaming. But even in her dreams, she dared not be so bold. This was truly astonishing. It's known that the Yiming Ghost sect, along with the Five Poisons cult, is one of the three great demon sects of the Gene Kingdom. Though the sect does not have a nascent soul true lord sitting in command, it holds the supreme treasure Myriad Ghosts Blood Pool, a foundation that even a nascent soul true lord would not fear. Yet her beloved actually dared to fight his way to the Yiming Ghost sect, demanding an explanation, and retreated unscathed. No wonder Lu Lang is so majestic and imposing. Meng Xiaocan's beautiful eyes sparkled with imagination, seemingly recalling the scene, and her heart trembled with excitement. She only regretted not being able to witness her beloved's heroic bearing. The Supreme Elder of the Yiming Ghost sect didn't appear. Moments later, Meng Xiaochan snapped back to reality, her beautiful eyes slightly narrowed, realizing something was amiss. Rumors had long circulated outside that the Supreme Elder of the Yiming Ghost sect was in closed-door cultivation, preparing to break through to nascent soul. Now with such events occurring in the Yiming Ghost sect and the Elder not appearing, it likely means he is at a critical juncture. If this Supreme Elder breaks through to nascent soul, wouldn't Lu Lang be in danger? Meng Xiaochan worried about Lu Changsheng's situation, wanting to know how he was now. Though the matter seemed concluded. But anyone with a discerning eye knows that the actions of this Yang Ming True Master have brutally slapped the Yiming Ghost sect in the face. It can't end so simply. Immediately, she pondered for a long time, feeling it necessary to tell her master about this event. Though in such matters, even her master may not be able to intervene much or provide significant help. But her master could surely know the details of this matter, at this moment. Hundreds of miles away from the Five Poisons cult. A gentle rain pattered softly, falling on leaves and the ground, creating crisp sounds. Inside a mountain cave, the sound of rain hitting leaves echoed clearly. After Lu Changxing finished refining Endless Guileful Head for Nangong Meili, he naturally continued to deepen their relationship. He stated that his origin source had recovered slightly and could once again cultivate the golden core. Faced with Lu Changsheng's sincere efforts and the allure of the golden core, Nangong Meili did not resist or reject. Thinking that after this parting, it would take a long time to meet again, Lu Changxing was not as relentless as in the early years in tantalizing Nangong Meili, but was instead extremely gentle. On the dark gold tiger skin carpet, Nangong Meili's jade body was graceful, alluring and enchanting, her silky smooth skin covered in fine sweat like the crescent moon's eyebrows lightly frowned, both shy and coy. Her slender Danfang eyes opened and closed, exuding a charming, alluring aura. Her beautifully curved nose occasionally let out soft hums, captivating the heart. Her bright, plump, and luscious red lips lightly bit down, like moist, juicy cherries, charming and tempting anyone to taste and savor. Lu Changxing hugged the slender waist of the beauty, leaned closer to her stunning, enchanting face, holding the two dewy red lips, only feeling waves of sweet fragrance flowing, making one immerse, creating in stunning beauty. Still, it could be said that the exquisite Nangong Mili was a natural enchantress, any part of her being delightful and enduring. Over these days of interaction, Nangong Mili showed improvement compared to before. Under Lu Changsheng's initiative, she would respond a little at emotional peaks. However, unlocking more poses still required effort. Time passed bit by bit. It was not known how long it took, but the golden core nurturing was completed. Seeing that Nangong Mili enjoyed the serenity after such an event, Lu Changxing warmly embraced her alluring, soft, and delicate body. Nangong Mili's hair was tangled, her delicate body like a heap of soft clay, motionless. Beneath her crescent moon-shaped slender eyebrows, her beautiful eyes flowed like water, gazing at the handsome youth before her, an indescribable sense of reluctance rising in her heart. This separation, who knows when they will meet again, a surge of unspeakable loneliness and melancholy suddenly arose in Nangong Mili's heart. It was a feeling she had never experienced before. Lu Changxing did not know what Nangong Mili was thinking. A woman's heart is like a needle at the bottom of the sea. Especially a woman like Nangong Mili. Yet he could feel that Nangong Mili had softened much in front of him, and even had a bit of admiration and attachment. This is not only the enhancement of feelings, nor just the gift of the endless guileful head, but also his excursion to demand an explanation from the Yiming ghost sect. The strength he showed gave Nangong Mili a sense of shock and recognition. After a long time, Nangong Mili recovered from the lingering feelings. Her beautiful jade figure, with its elegant curves, was draped in a luxurious purple gauze dress, graceful and charming. "When are you leaving?" Nangong Mili's red lips opened slightly, her gorgeous and seductive face cool and noble, showing no trace of the earlier emotional appearance. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1446. This woman really doesn't recognize people once she puts on a dress. Lu Changxing watched her like this, feeling a bit amused inside. Their relationship had reached this point, yet still maintaining a facade. But the more she acted like this, the more he wanted to conquer her. In planning to see Xiao Chan again and then go back directly. Lu Changsheng's eyes were gentle, filled with reluctant tenderness. Nangong Mili avoided Lu Changsheng's burning gaze. "If Xiao Chan is willing, I want to take her to Bai Lake Mountain." Lu Changxing looked at Nangong Mili and continued. Although the feelings between him and Meng Xiaochan came from the Lockhart Gu. Meng Xiaochan had been devoted to him for so many years, he felt the need to give her a resolution, an outcome. The daughter hoped when saying goodbye that he would take good care of Meng Xiaochan. Nangong Mili's jade face showed a slight pause. "I'm well aware of Xiaocan's situation. Taking her back this time is partly to see if we can solve her situation, and partly to give her an outcome. Also, the Yiming ghost sect dares not attack you, but they will surely cause trouble for Xiaochan." Lu Changxing sighed slightly and said. Nangong Mili remained silent. How could she not know Meng Xiaocan's feelings for Lu Changxing? If it weren't for being suppressed by her and Nangong Yaoyao, she might have gone to Jiang country to find Lu Changxing long ago. Now that Nangong Yaoyao had left, it was impossible for her to keep Meng Xiaochan by her side forever. Moreover, Meng Xiaochan was now at the 9th level foundation establishment and began to prepare for core formation. Continuing to suppress might damage her state of mind, making core formation difficult. Xiaocan's love for you has deepened, already affecting her soul. If you want to take her, just take her. Nangong Mili said expressionlessly, but a lonely feeling rose in her heart. Now the daughter was gone, Lu Changxing and Meng Xiaochan were also leaving, she seemed to become a solitary figure. The gates of Bai Lake Mountain are always open for you, and when I come to Jin Kingdom, I will come over with Xiaochan. Lu Changsheng held Nangong Mili's white jade hand, speaking warmly. Taking Meng Xiaochan back to Bai Lake Mountain was not only to give her a resolution, but also to ease the relationship between him and Nangong Mili through her. Got it. Nangong Mili said with some irritation, wanting to shake off Lu Changsheng's hand. But Lu Changsheng held tight and said with a smile, if that's the case, Mili, why don't you come with me to the Immortal Spider Marketplace? Otherwise Xiaochan, who misses her master, might not come with me. Lu Changsheng said with a smile. Humph. Nangong Mili snorted coldly. That was the aspect of Meng Xiaochan she was most satisfied with. Even having fallen for the Lockhart Gu, deeply in love with Lu Changsheng, she never forgot her master. It showed that her position as a master in Xiaocan's heart was just as significant as Lu Changsheng's. Then the two left the cave and headed to the Immortal Spider Marketplace. Immortal Spider Marketplace. Master, Lu Lang. Upon seeing Lu Changsheng and her master arrive, Meng Xiaochan immediately called out joyfully. She felt, perhaps an illusion, that the two seemed closer than before. Lu Lang, I heard, in a purple dress, Meng Xiaocan's delicate appearance seemed like a dream, concerned about whether Lu Changsheng was hurt while going to the Yiming ghost sect. Then, asked whether Lu Quan's situation was resolved. Though she received the information, she didn't know the detailed process. It's not a big issue, but Lu Quan's situation will take some time. Lu Changsheng smiled and said. After speaking, he glanced at Nangong Mili, and continued, however, this matter could indeed bring some unwarranted trouble, so I'm planning to take you back to Jiang country, Xiaochan. Are you willing to go with me? Ah, upon hearing this, Meng Xiaocan's dreamlike delicate face was instantly filled with happiness and surprise, wanting to directly agree and express her willingness. But seeing her master beside her, with a cold and noble expression, she suddenly felt more anxious. If you want to go then go. Nangong Mili said irritably when she saw Meng Xiaochan looking at her. Hearing this, Meng Xiaochan lightly bit her lips, her expression conflicted. She very much wanted to leave with Lu Changsheng. But not long ago, Nangong Yaoyao was taken as a disciple by the nascent soul True Lord and went to the Immortal Lotus sect. If she left now as well, wouldn't her master be left alone? This disciple chooses to stay by master's side. After a moment of conflict, Meng Xiaochan said, biting her lip. Nangong Mili felt a touch of relief in her heart at this. Her cold and noble face softened slightly, saying, if you want to go, then go, there's no need to force yourself. She also needed to go into closed-door cultivation next and couldn't spare time to deal with Meng Xiaochan. Besides, things had reached this point with Lu Changsheng and Meng Xiaochan. Continuing interference would only affect the master-disciple relationship. Moreover, Meng Xiaochan, this disciple, still stood with her master. Now Meng Xiaochan was going back with this dog man. She could also learn about this dog man and by Lake Mountain through Meng Xiaochan. Going doesn't mean not coming back, you can always come back whenever you want. Lu Changsheng, unconcerned by Meng Xiaocan's words, smiled at her. Though Nangong Mili verbally expressed indifference. But if Meng Xiaochan really chose without hesitation to leave with him, surely it would cause some resentment, creating a rift in the master-disciple relationship. Xiaochan thanks master for granting permission. Hearing this, Meng Xiaochan finally bowed and expressed her gratitude. After giving a few instructions and reminders to Meng Xiaochan, Nangong Mili left the Immortal Spider Marketplace and returned to the Five Poisons cult to prepare for closed-door cultivation. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1447. However, as soon as she returned to Heavenly Spider Peak, the steward there indicated that the Five Poisons cult leader wanted her to come over. Upon hearing this, Nangong Mili's beautiful eyes narrowed slightly, pondering inwardly. Then she arrived in front of the Five Saints Hall and bowed respectfully, saying, "Greetings, sect hierarch. Enter." A moment later, a voice filled with authority yet youthful rang out from within the hall. "Greetings, sect hierarch." Nangong Mili walked into the grand hall, gazing at the Five Poisons cult leader, who appeared as a young girl upon the platform. She bowed again with a respectful demeanor. "Heavenly Spider Envoy, are you aware of the matters concerning the Yiming Ghost sect?" The Five Poisons cult leader looked at Nangong Mili and directly asked. "Is the sect hierarch referring to the matter of Yangming True Master?" Nangong Mili maintained a calm expression, speaking respectfully. "Indeed, 3 days ago, the Yiming Ghost King came to pay respects to this seat." Although he didn't inquire directly, the topic arose. The Five Poisons cult leader spoke, her voice crisp and youthful, yet filled with indescribable authority. It indicated that the Yiming Ghost King deduced that the Astound Demon Lord was within the Five Poisons cult, and that Nangong Mili was involved in matters concerning Ghost Demon True Man and Chu Chang Tian that day. "Reporting to sect hierarch, Yangming True Master is my Dao companion," Nangong Mili stated directly. She had previously realized that her act of saving Lu Chuanjun might arouse suspicion from Ghost Demon True Man, thereby letting the Yiming Ghost sect catch a hint of the situation. Dao companion? The Five Poisons cult leader was slightly surprised. Unanticipated that this Yangming True Master turned out to be Nangong Mili's Dao companion. After all, this Heavenly Spider Envoy did not seem like one who would seek a Dao companion. Is he the father of Nangong Yao Yao? The Five Poisons cult leader, with a face as white as jade, exquisitely delicate, continued her inquiries. "Yes, sect hierarch." Nangong Mili replied with a calm demeanor. "Could this person be of use to our Five Poisons cult, or come to serve as an honorary elder within our Five Poisons cult?" The Five Poisons cult leader immediately understood Nangong Mili's meaning and inquired. Though the Five Poisons cult maintained relations with the Yiming Ghost sect, there was no intention to offend Lu Changxing on behalf of the Yiming Ghost sect. The first thought was to perhaps add a formidable strength to their Five Poisons cult. After all, although the Yiming Ghost sect had sealed the news this time, several of their demonic sects had informants within other forces, who were aware of the general proceedings. This Yangming True Master's combat prowess is extremely fierce, renowned as the #1 under nascent soul. Chapter 1448. After Nangong Mili walked out of the Five Saints' Hall, recalling her sect hierarch's attitude just now, a sense of self-satisfaction surged in her heart. In the past, she only felt this emotion from her daughter, Nangong Yao Yao. Now, there was one more person. At this moment, she looked at the jade slip in her hand, wanting to see Lu Changsheng's heroic demeanor at the Yiming Ghost sect. After all, regarding Lu Changsheng's matters at the Yiming Ghost sect, she only knew roughly, not specifically. Snap! A moment later, the jade slip in Nangong Mili's hand shattered, her stunning face as cold as ice. This damn man, how is it everywhere he goes, there are women? It's one thing to demand an explanation for her son, but how come there's another wife now? How many wives do you have, after all? Going to the Yiming Ghost sect for a trip, and you can still meet a wife. Damn man. Nangong Mili's phoenix eyes were cold and sharp, cursing in her heart. Then she transformed into a rainbow light and returned to her sky bead peak, entering the main hall with a roar, beginning her closed-door cultivation. But looking at the empty main hall, thinking of Lu Changsheng's matters, her heart felt a sense of sour displeasure. This damn man leaves affection everywhere. If this goes on for a long time, at that moment, this Heavenly Spider Envoy, who appeared cold and ruthless to outsiders, like a young girl in love, felt a sense of insecurity. However, moments later, Nangong Mili realized her emotions were being affected by Lu Changxing, snorted coldly, discarded distracting thoughts, and meditated in cultivation. She planned to visit Jiang country to see Xiao Chan after breaking through to the 6th layer of core formation and bring her back. At this very moment. 9th Heavenly Gang Wind Layer. A golden light was tearing through layers of gang winds, heading in the direction of the Myriad Beasts mountain range. This time returning, Lu Changxing didn't plan to travel the Jiang country and Jin kingdom border, instead deciding to cross the Myriad Beasts mountain range. Along the way, he intended to see if he could encounter any heavenly and earthly treasures, third-rank spirit plants. And also, by the way, hunt the Sun-Moon Twin Radiance butterfly which he had been thinking about for a long time. This Sun-Moon Twin Radiance butterfly is a third-rank mid-stage demon king. Due to its mutated bloodline, its power rivaled a late-stage core formation great cultivator. In the past, Lu Changxing was eager but wasn't sure he could take it down. Now with his increased power, possessing the golden-winged heavenly peng, along with Chu Qingyi, he was confident in subduing this Sun-Moon Twin Radiance butterfly. Lu Lang, Meng Xiaochan sat cross-legged on the golden-winged heavenly peng, somewhat apprehensive, asking if he had any ideas for visiting by Lake Mountain. Just treat it as your own home. Lu Changxing said gently, telling her about some family matters. He also mentioned that with the events of Qingzhou Mountain and Red Leaf Valley Market in the early years, Lu Miaoge, Lu Miaohuan, and Lu Miaoyan might still remember her fondly. The only thing to be cautious about is avoiding the use of force in public. Meng Xiaoquan's cultivation of poison techniques, although not as bloody as the Heavenly Corpse sect or Yiming Ghost sect, also belonged to the demon path. Ordinary cultivators might not recognize it. But if any four great immortal sect's disciples were present, they would recognize it as an inheritance of the Five Poisons cult. Meng Xiaoquan's face was filled with sweetness. In her heart, as long as she could be with Lu Changxing, nothing else mattered. Not even breaking through to core formation mattered as much. However, Lu Changxing proactively inquired about Meng Xiaoquan's advancement towards core formation. He had 2 coagulation crystal elixirs in his hand. If Meng Xiaochan needed one, he wouldn't mind giving her one. After all, none of the wives or children at home urgently needed the coagulation crystal elixir now. If Meng Xiaochan could break through to core formation soon, the family would have one more fighting force. It would also be much easier to obtain more coagulation crystal elixirs later. He could slowly gather the coagulation crystal elixir materials and ask Hong Lian to refine them. If I cultivate calmly, I could reach foundation establishment peak in another 2 to 3 years. But to attack core formation, I still need to continuously temper my foundation with the myriad poisons devouring heart technique, otherwise, even if I succeed, it would just be a low-quality flawed core. Meng Xiaochan said so. She possessed the 1,000 threads of poison body and cultivated with a matching inheritance, so her cultivation speed was fast. But such cultivation techniques have pros and cons. Breaking through to a great realm is much harder than with most techniques. More time must be spent firmly strengthening the foundation. Alright, I will see if I can help at that time. Lu Changxing smiled and said. His natural yin-yang energies could nurture the Tao Foundation pill, which also meant he could help someone strengthen their foundation. Meng Xiaochan replied joyously, her beautiful eyes filled with gentle adoration as she gazed at Lu Changxing, full of love, admiration, and longing. The Lockhart Gu not only stirs inevitable affection and love in someone's heart but also amplifies any perceived virtues while ignoring flaws, making it hard to extricate oneself. These past months of interaction, the more Meng Xiaochan learned about Lu Changxing, the deeper her love became. By the way, Xiaochan, at this time, Lu Changxing thought of Chu Qingyi in the Tianyuan lotus. Eventually, Chu Qingyi and Meng Xiaochan would meet no matter what. So to avoid unnecessary misunderstandings, he explained in advance. He planned to directly clarify Meng Xiaoquan's situation, expressing that she was an early acquaintance turned demon path disciple by chance. This trip, they met in Jin Kingdom. With his persuasion, she found her way back. Meng Xiaochan wasn't like Nangong Mili, whose reputation was widespread. As long as he explained well, he believed Chu Qingyi wouldn't mind too much. Moreover, once introduced, as long as Meng Xiaochan didn't cause trouble in Qingyun region afterward, there would be some assurances. Qingyi true master. Upon hearing, Meng Xiaoquan's pink lips parted slightly, her beautiful eyes filled with surprise. As a true disciple of the Five Poisons cult, she still had some basic understanding of the Jiang country's 4 great immortal sects. She knew that within the Qingyun sect, there was a core formation true man named Xu Qingyi. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. His face remained ashen and bloodless, his eyes filled with a blood fiend's intent, as crimson as blood. Chuanjun, how are you doing now? Lu Chongqing inquired. Reporting to father, I am much better now. This Vajra Sharira can suppress the infiltration of the blood fiend. Lu Chuanjun said so. Lu Chongqing stepped forward, examining his physical condition, and noticed no significant changes from before. This Vajra Sharira, although effective in suppressing the netherworld blood evil, required a lengthy time to show results. Have you taken the lifespan extension pill? Lu Chongqing continued to ask. I have taken it. Lu Chuanjun replied softly. Upon hearing this, Lu Chongqing frowned slightly. Though the lifespan extension pill's primary effect is life extension, it is also a major vitality-enhancing elixir medicine, beneficial for the physical body and invigorating life. Yet, despite Lu Chuanjun having taken a 3rd-rank lifespan extension pill, his body did not significantly improve. System. Lu Chengsheng's mental spirit stirred as he looked at Lu Quanzhen's attribute panel. Name, Lu Chuanjun, lifespan, 60/90ths, talent, 4th grade spiritual root, cultivation level, 9th level foundation establishment, talent, combat law compatibility, 71%, as expected. Lu Chongqing slightly furrowed his brows. A 3rd-rank lifespan extension pill could extend lifespan by 30 to 50 years. The lifespan extension pill from the Yiming Ghost sect, even of ordinary quality, should extend life by at least 30 years. Yet Lu Chuanjun only extended his lifespan by 21 years. The effect is only slightly better than a 2nd-rank lifespan extension pill. This is not because the Yiming Ghost sect's lifespan extension pill has problems. Rather, Lu Quanzhen's health is too poor. Like an old man whose life is about to end, with potential depleted. Only in this way will the effect of the lifespan extension pill be greatly reduced, unsatisfactory. Just rest well these days, and when we return home, I'll call for you. Lu Chongqing said aloud. Although extending 21 years of life is not much as long as Lu Chuanjun rests properly, he is confident of having him remove the blood fiend within 30 years, condense foundation mana, and break through to core formation. Yes, father. Lu Chuanjun replied with a cupped hand, aware that the effect after taking the lifespan extension pill seemed ineffective. He doesn't know exactly his lifespan, but can vaguely sense it. Lu Chongqing nodded and left the quiet room with Chu Qingyi, then looked at her and called, Qingyi. What's the matter? Chu Qingyi's beautiful eyes were like water, looking at Lu Chongqing with some confusion. Cough cough cough, Lu Chongqing suddenly covered his chest, coughing. Chu Qingyi instantly realized what Lu Chongqing meant, her cheeks turning red like a blush. Qingyi, although my injury has stabilized, I've hurt my origin, unable to use much power. Crossing the myriad beasts mountain range ahead might be dangerous, and the demon king I plan to hunt is quite formidable, Lu Chongqing explained, knowing well that his current state of claiming heavy injuries was somewhat forced. But in matters like this, one always has to provide a reason to others for convincing oneself. Chu Qingyi slightly lowered her jade-like face, her cheeks like fire, without uttering a word. As a sword cultivator, how could she not see Lu Chengsheng's breath was long and robust, unlike showing signs of any severe issue. However, Lu Chongqing claimed his source was hurt, and she couldn't be sure. After all, Lu Chengsheng's previous explosive outburst made it reasonable to say his origin was injured. But after spending so much time together, Lu Chongqing appeared somewhat shameless, unreliable, thick-skinned in her heart. Thinking he was again trying to coax her, "Good Qingyi, just help me out." Lu Chongqing looked at the still disguised Chu Qingyi in front of him, holding her fair hand, speaking softly. Why do these lines sound vaguely familiar? At this moment, although Chu Qingyi was still in disguise, her face seemed ordinary, yet was full of a special charm with shame and anger, her cheeks blushing. She lightly bit her red lips, wanting to say something but didn't know what. Good Qingyi, can you bear to see me like this? Lu Changxing knew that if he acted directly, there was a high chance Chu Qingyi would reluctantly comply with him. Yet, for some reason, seeing her looking shy and pouting, making a silent gesture, he couldn't help but tease her a little. Chu Qingyi, blushing as red as the clouds, listening to Lu Changxing saying "Good Qingyi" with a pleading tone, felt at loss, wondering what debt she owed him. Then she let out a small sigh and whispered, "Just, for healing." "Yes, just healing. Qingyi remains pure as jade in my heart." Lu Changxing earnestly nodded, leading Chu Qingyi by her jade hand to a secluded side hall. Chu Qingyi lowered her jade-like face, cheeks blushing red, couldn't help but scold silently. Despite being so with him, what purity as jade. Not allowing Chu Qingyi to ponder further, Lu Changxing leaned in to kiss the beauty. During this process, streams of chaos qi flowed on Lu Changxing's face, restoring his true appearance. Even though Chu Qingyi wasn't particularly obsessed with appearances, seeing Lu Changxing's handsome and charming face, her heart slightly fluttered. Feeling the tender yet oppressive embrace of Lu Changxing, his hands roaming over her delicate body, Chu Qingyi's whole body grew weak and soft. Suddenly feeling a sense of resistance, she pursed her lips, not removing her disguise. Good Qingyi. Moments later, Lu Changxing held the bowtie's waist, looking at her closed beautiful eyes, her flushed cheeks, softly calling her. Healing. Chu Qingyi couldn't help but mutter in her heart, this person keeps saying healing but yet continues acting up, not starting the actual task. Alright, healing. Seeing her apparent silent protest, Lu Changxing felt somewhat amused, leaning in to kiss her again. As time passed, the bowtie's once neatly tied black silky hair loosened, her blushing cheeks growing increasingly red, almost collapsing in Lu Changxing's embrace. Soon the elegant blue-white dress scattered. The embroidered shoes were removed, revealing a pair of delicate feet wrapped in pure white socks. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report, so we can fix it as soon as possible. You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.